Ba, 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 ba. Howdy, howdy, everybody. This is Jordan, Midwest Game Guy, MGG for short. Good to see you again. Excuse me, I just choked on my own spit. I'm okay. welcome to the another wonderful wifey curated Steam Games week. This time, it's being brought to a couple of games that my wife got me for Christmas through the winter Steam sales. Last time we did this was in October after my birthday. We played a handful of games my wife got me around that time to celebrate my 32nd year of life, and this time it's gonna be Christmas. Some of them are winter themed, one or two is, but it's a good variety. Today we're gonna start with RoadWarden, which is like a text-based RPG, which I don't have a lot of experience in, but should be pretty fun. I've heard it's a very gripping story, and then we also have Disco Elysium this week, Milo and the Magpies, which is a beautiful art as far as I can see. We have Winterborough, and I am forgetting one. Oh, Darkest Dungeons too. So a good variety this week, should be fun. But yeah, I hope you're ready for a good interactive fiction with some cool RPG elements and text-based adventure. I hope you get ready to listen to me read a lot, because I think there's no narration to speak of, so I should be reading a lot tonight. So welcome in, y'all. And I will boot this up for the first time. We'll get started. Loading, loading. Little stick is loading. There we go. Morality Anxiety Studios. We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. That's very pretty so far. Welcome to RoadWarden's anniversary patch. It improves a few stories and bits of interface, but sadly it won't work well with the old saves. Recommend starting your playthrough from the beginning. In the newly available advanced difficulty settings, you can choose to skip the opening section of the game. Thank you so much for giving my game a chance. For your bug reports, editing tips, and gameplay suggestions, thank you for making RoadWarden what it is now. Arius. Nice. Well, this is our first time, so we don't have to worry about any old saves not being relevant. Just because the washing machine. Thank you, Mom. You're fine. Let's see what we have. Settings. Full screen. Basic. Pixel. Narration fast. Music, that sounds good to me. Oh, hi, Maddie. My dog used to come in to say hi. Hi, baby. Describe attitudes, yes. Quotes, show. Deaf support off. Show tutorials. Achievements, show. Controls. Let's see, select icon, activates buttons, opens the main menu, scrolls various windows up and down, quick save, quick load, opens inventory, opens the journal, opens the character sheet menu. Sounds good. Oh, that's not what I wanted to press. Sorry. I quit the button by accident. Let me get back into it. I quit the game by accident. Let's try again. Reopen. In the countryside, spirits are believed to be centuries-old creatures. They are seen as a part of the wilderness whose who punish those opposing their natural order. Interesting. Alright. Well, let's go to a new game. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Road wardens not only accept this struggle, but they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. Either I leave the safety of the city walls, or I still have my doubts. Let's be brave. Pick difficulty mode. This choice can't be altered later on. Casual, for those focused on the story. No time limit, more cash to start. Some quests are more forgiving. Standard, for those familiar with RPGs. 40-day time limit. Regular rules set. Restrictive, for the returning road wardens. 30-day time limit. Increased nighttime damage. Let's just do casual for now. This is our first time. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices. No sounds of labor. The gate's ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavy. It had a long day. I can look for another shelter. I need to look around cautiously. I dismount, sneak for the gate. Let's peek inside. I get off the horse and enter the camp briskly. I need to look around cautiously. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone knows the clatter of hooves. The short dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of the valley, but you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's only route north. I could look for another shelter. I could dismount, sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you'll die in combat. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up to you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, and a nice mug of beer and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach the grate slowly. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space, the fire pit is cold. Two people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them's holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a lighthearted drinking song from the city harbor. They don't look like much of a threat. I can enter. It takes him a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a Gambin sun, but here hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are wary yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part. Though there should be more of them, 8 you believe. I'll let them speak first. Let's see. It's nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. The bearded man voice is strong yet timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers, he and I, added the armored woman. Her voice switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep this camp safe, but if you were to take the first watch, it would be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other out, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment to fully rest, you need a good sleep. Sure, leave it to me. Fantastic, she rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than a half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. Okay then. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up. Just yell. He drinks from his mug. We have our first ad break in about a minute, y'all. I asked him about the lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they receive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Be cordial and supportive. Use a joke or witty comment. Hide your emotions. Hint at a threat. Vulnerable. Be sad. I will be cordial for now. I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Can we talk for a bit? The woman let out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I, though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? I'm your new RoadWarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really, the soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, as lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. Tulia. She reaches out her hand. I shake her hand. Or it may be a trap. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should watch myself. I'll shake her hand. How do you want people to call you? I'll do my name. I'll be myself. I'll be Jordan. Jordan. Her grasp is confident. The shake is slight. We just keep your horse away from the tent. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. Oh, there's one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We have no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. No problem. I enjoy observing the stars. I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. I enjoy sleeping the stars. You walk through the gate. The mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but it's also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. It's my only companion here. I want to feel at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want to travel. I want to feel at ease. Takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom, but you know that horses need companionship. I speak to it gently, lead to camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than the shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things. You lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from this travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. Let's see. Spend my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, a reliable crossbow with quarrels. I have talismans that can help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and worn gambeson. I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe, a worn gambeson, and a small healing potion. I'll learn more. As a fighter, you have easier time with physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment, hidden bonuses during dice rolls. Oh, it was dice rolls. You'll be physically more capable than other classes, which opens unique opportunities during some social interactions. It's the best class for RPG beginners. The fighter's weakness is the reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality points drop to 0. The mage uses Numina, a versatile but limited pool of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage you'll be able to heal faster while resting, detect magic in a mysterious area, distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in having no Numa left when you need it most. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with his knowledge, and you'll be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. I'll be a fighter. Open your inventory. Unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. Be sure to click on each of the new items you receive, as some of them can have unusual applications. They consist of dried meat, crackers, nuts, seeds, fruit, and water, which spoil slowly and don't require additional cooking. Pouch of coins. A city artisan makes coins by cutting dragon bones into slices. They are valued by merchants, though rarely used in the countryside. A gambeson is a padded defense jacket made of linen filled with rags. Cheapest type of armor, yet surprisingly effective and as a result very common. travel set. Your sacks contain all sorts of useful tools. Odds and ends of making a journey, just in case. A rainproof cloak, a set of bone needles and a thread, an iron knife, a blade sharpener, a tinder box, and a couple of tallow candles. A bunch of rags used to make torches, as well as a flask of oil. A pair of protective gloves made of thick leather. Look out your battle axe. Traveling with an axe shows that you've learned how to fight humans and human-sized monsters, while having a weapon made of steel makes it clear that you're someone to be reckoned with. Crossbow. Difficult to make and valued for their usefulness, crossbows can be used even by an inexperienced traveler and can pierce most scales and armors. Your fresh snacks spoil fast. The cellar will allow lasting foods are either expensive like honey or dried meat, or required cooking before consumption like beans or grains. Most travelers spend their nights in taverns, huts, and villages where they can trade for cheap, warm meals or even eat leftovers for free. As a result, food rations are eaten only when necessary. Nourishment 2 out of 4. You experience no penalties nor bonuses. When it comes to trade, there's barely any connection between Haviland's marketplaces and the inns of the countryside. While city officials keep track of their value of different goods and oversee the legitimacy of used coins, the villagers prefer to barter or exchange their resources for work or other favors. A single coin is worth quite a lot among merchants. It allows you to stay and eat in a shoddy city tavern for about 5 days. For 10 coins, you can buy a decent bow, for 20 a sword, and for 100 a squadron of mercenaries will be willing to face a family of trolls. Padded jackets are an essential piece of an armor set. They protect the wearer's chest, abdomen, arms, and thighs. The lighter jackets, called aketons, are worn under heavier sets made of alloys or chitin, while the thicker ones, known as gambesons, are worn alone. They're relatively easy to make, and while not all travelers can afford them or wear them for hours without getting tired, they're commonly used by guides, mercenaries, and soldiers. Your armor is not in best shape and can use some additional work. I feel like I'm playing D&D. I feel like a old school D&D player. Axes are made of metals or alloys are among the most common weapons used by travelers. Not safe as spears, not as fancy as swords, but their powerful strikes can get through animal shells, scales, or thick furs, as well as most armors. They're not great when it comes to parrying, but a single strike may be enough to leave a devastating wound. Still, the vast majority of them are used by lumberjacks, farmers, or carpenters, and pretty much every household in the countryside owns at least one just in case. Their shapes, sizes, and used materials vary. Heads are made of stone, especially flint, bones, chitin, and massive seashells, while handles are almost always made of wood, antlers, and leather straps. You spend a lot of time training how to fight, and like most warriors, your grip is reliable. If needed, you can throw an axe at a target over a dozen feet away. Cool. Difficult to buy crossbow outside of the City Craft Guild. They require complex mechanisms made by combined efforts of specialized artisans, but their expensive parts may keep the weapon drawn for many hours. Easy to aim and shoot, and their quarrels hit much harder than the regular bow arrows. Sorry. Little burpees. While loading takes a fair bit of time, in some cases even half a minute, the newer models don't require much effort nor strength thanks to the introduction of advanced winches. Such a weapon can be a powerful tool even in the hands of an untrained monk. Since crossbows are much more complex than bows, they are often altered by enchanters who focus their attention on a specific small part. The most popular enchantments include faster reload speed, extended draw weight, increased durability, and lighter weight. Cool. One of the great harbors of the Dragonwoods, and the city, heart of the northern western province of the 10 cities, was hired by its officials and merchants. My goodness, there's lots of, what's the corpse eaters? Hairless, scaleless creatures resemble constantly stooped apes, but their limbs and torsos are extremely thin, as if there are barely any muscles on them. While they are nimble, their limited strength turns them into scavengers. They rarely move in packs. Rice's followers preach that corpses eaters should be purged from the Dragonwoods no matter the cost. A famous tale from the tablets described the ancient homes of these beasts, the Shadow Vale. They hunted and devoured any human they could find, and woke up their undead shells right away, even without a fog. Countless expeditions, even from the days of the 10 cities, were meant to wipe them out in the woods. Very interesting. Oh my goodness, there's so much to read about. We will maybe I'll read that another time. to get more used to the world, but let's keep things moving. Archive. Oh, it's just saying what I said before. Inventory. Let me save. Okay. Return. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. Get me. Get a drink of water. The spare clothes are still here. Just in case you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife, and nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Return to the soldiers. At the table again, observing your beasts and chatting in between themselves, your stomach growls at the sight of them, eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at the previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on the tree log. I join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about the area. I completely ignore the meal. I sit down and speak to Tulia. I join them. It's cold gruel. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. You can find your supplies. Let's see. And inventory. Okay. It's cold gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. The specific bowl is full of water, hog millet, some strange-looking cereals, and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions. Hey! Welcome in with the raid, yo! Let's do a little you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome in.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for following, Drawhand Star Bear. Appreciate it. Thank you for the raid there, Wolfgang. Appreciate you, bud. How was the rest of Parasite Eve? Gotta catch it. It's you and me.
I know it's my destiny.
Thank you so much, Drawhand.
Well, welcome in. I am, as you can see here, the Midwest Game Guy. I have my own merch just for me, and maybe some for you in the future. I don't know.
But yeah, it was really good. Good. Well, I'm glad you had fun, buddy. I enjoyed the small amount. I was able to see you play some Parasite Eve while I was winding down after a long day, so it was good to see you play a classic. We're playing ourselves a text-based adventure, so it's going to be a lot of me reading. There's some nice music in the background, but it's going to be mostly me reading to you guys and hopefully helping you fall asleep tonight to the sound of my voice. It's a text-based RPG called RoadWarden. It's like a more medieval road warrior. So think of me as a more dragon hunting Mel Gibson in Mad Max or Fury Road or something. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you again, Wolfgang. Always appreciate you, bud. I hope you get some followers, and I hope everybody gives Wolfgang a follow if you like classic games like Parasite Eve or Rocket Knight or more recent stuff like Path of Exile 2 and stuff. Please give him a follow. He's a good dude. Very caring, very kind. He gifted me the game Live Alive not too long ago for a Christmas present, which we played in the channel and we'll play again. So thank you very much, Wolfgang. And thank you also to Johan for the follow. Thank you very much for the follow and the Pokemon Redeem. Appreciate you. And yeah, welcome in, guys. I am Midwest Game Guy Jordan. Play a lot of variety games. This week is all dedicated to games. Some of the games that my wife bought me for Christmas. So we're going to kind of do like a wifey Christmas curated Steam sale week this week. So RoadWarden's our first stop on that week this week. So yeah, hope you guys are doing well. And thank you for being here. Let's see. Of course, buddy. Thank you, and thank you for sharing your community with me. I really appreciate it. Well, I appreciate the raid, bud. I always appreciate it. I should be streaming almost every day this week at 8 o'clock my time, so hopefully I will see some more people and not stream so late this week. Welcome you to a meal. With a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Road Wardens, on the other hand, learn how to work for themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibility, different lifestyles. Ooh, I eat quickly. Oh, I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, and speak with Tulia. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like, and less than I should. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of the summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land, adds our companion. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward. His legs shake nervously. He sounds like he's a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What do the officials tell you? Expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I'll share what I consider to be relevant. Tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received since this area is too far away from Holvana to keep it under control. You were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn to walking corpses or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for you for guidance. Lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Sitting in her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? I've lost my rope. Can you spare one? You're in luck. She heads down to one of the crates, moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down in the chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. A fine rope. A regular rope made of hemp fibers. Tulia nods. For now, you leave the rope on the table. Let's see. What should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey. Guess it'd be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Halovan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore. And they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we traveled to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and to play dice. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? Man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post. And, well, turns towards Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Jordan, but are you a devout soul? Like most folks, I believe people should have the strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for good and evil deeds. I support a monastery that does its best to advance. For me, the freedoms of shell, pneumonia, and soul are main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I'm a place in fellowship. Let's quick save and see what happens. Okay, let's go back then. A fellow unite, the man smiles, though in this land I won't bring you much good. At least you can discuss the topic freely, as Lieutenant, with a barely visible smile. People are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. The traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials here. She starts to draw lines with her index finger as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You nod. She means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged never to return there. I see. You've heard tales such as the ones since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy the river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors to mankind. Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that can catch my mouth? We saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, treants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins. But we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with the most mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine, the trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and the mountains. There's not that many humans around. Animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. We're able to speak with the necromancers. You can see why we're not eager to go there if we could avoid the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a road warden. The roads are dangerous with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to a end first and soon. Tulia nods. Pell to the north is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeeper or the guards and ask them about the road. How about the east? Shares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. That's all I need to know. What happened to the previous road warden? Aren't you a bit late for the rescue mission? We haven't heard from him almost half a year. Soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirm that they've stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bitter soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere sharpening his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asteria never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of us locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. It's like I'm not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone's keeping him in a basement. The man carves with passion. We haven't seen him at Ora's Saurian. Something ate him, them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer road wardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians at their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, they can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and you won't suddenly sink his teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he's looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, said Tulia. My predecessor left me no clues. We almost took a look at Asterian's stuff. Wait, she raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Hovalavan. I was planning to take his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions, quite a treasure. She glanced at you, but I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for this stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. So since she hasn't returned, you know nothing about her. She either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get to Havlavan together? You think about your real mission. You're planning to return to Havlavan in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True, but if he's considered dead, I doubt he's begrudging you anything, and who knows? You may just find the shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear mostly, maybe 5 feet tall but stout, long red beard, short hair, pale face, really smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So find out what happened to him, dead or alive. Just let me know. Before I became the road warden of the peninsula, a man named as Asterian used to patrol these roads. If I manage to find out what happened to him and bring the news to Tulia from the southern camp, I receive his abandoned belongings. Interesting. Let me save real quick. I think we're doing good so far. What happened to your squad? Man shrugs. Bandits happen and monsters. A strong band, though, his companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. Lieutenant had decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bigger soldier scoffs and crosses arms, but she carried on. If he had decided otherwise, we would all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Get it, Lolo. Get yourself that ball toy. Sound like slave hunters.
Someone should put you in a box floating down the river, Grandma!
They just might. If I choose the wrong text option, I just might be in a box down the river before you know it, my friend. But good to see you again, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope work is treating you well if you're working, and I hope you're having a good day. How's your Monday treating you, or Tuesday? Tulia sighs, very much so. They killed some, took others away. Who knows where? They were letting the Northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked as a soldier. Oh no, you didn't get it, Lolo. We asked for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate, it's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp. But we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. She looked at you. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? Yeah, Tuesday. At least I work like usual. So far, it's okay. Nice. Any New Year's plans? Any New Year's Eve, New Year's Day plans for you, bud? And what you been playing? What you playing today? The thing that would surprise you, those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in the place without a good leader. They didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a tree. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt. So a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough. Didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She let out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed they decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. You've made this place safer. Barely. She seems tired. Who knows if it's worth the lives and effort. Got some bread. That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Havalavan, chief, selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put those soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. So here's a successor. Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but he failed to protect either of them from a spell. It's like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. She pauses. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Basically, yeah. So without enthusiasm, I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. If you were me, where would you go next? Soldier answered quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug, the one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. Northern Road is much more traveled, mentions Tulia, but the hunters will tell you about this and that, and they'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how to make a good first impression on him? Avoid cheap jokes, stick to trade, don't waste his time. Show him what you can be relied on. Nice. What was your squad's mission? You know, the usual, making the road safe, keeping people alive. It may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you, let's just say it'd be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. Now, if you have any other questions, anything I should know about this camp? Story is brief. Some merchants built this camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There are plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned from time to time, serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here whenever you want, the man concludes their tale, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. Oh, we have our next ad break in about 40 seconds, y'all. Next ad break in about 40 seconds. It's getting late. We should prepare for the night. I agree, Tulia sighs with relief. And you may do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. She winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help. You go to the barrel and splash water in your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it'll only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade, probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find. And there's this one really loud werrick that keeps smelling the wall, though it never tried to get in. He points at a gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if this someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them a rope instead. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire. The best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. So let's see. So, apes, food, smells the wall. Someone being chased. Throw them a rope instead. It's cold, make a fire. Watchtower. Oh, here. He points at a pile of crates. Just climb up the tallest one. You have a great view of the northern side, the more dangerous side. Also, I know you're tired, and after all that riding, he points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple hours sleeping on the ground if you wish. Go there after me and rest just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. I smile. Thanks a lot. You put your blanket on the tallest crate. And, oh, cool. Like, it's at nighttime. You can hear like all the crickets and the ambient noises. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the taller grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see a three-horned deer trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor to admit their defeat. Don't let it distract me, I keep looking around. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray-haired group of musk oxen, lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, you climb down, go to the tent, wake up the bearded man with just a couple of words. You can confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my back as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with a cloak. Sleeping on a tent is not a stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. Which is? I need to explore the peninsula as thoroughly as I can. I have to go get to know the locals and find out how much of a profit can be made here, then bring the news to Havlavan. To add word to my work here, I could secure the roads by getting rid of any major threats and convince the tribes to negotiate with the officials. Soldiers told me about a large village that repeatedly uses necromancy, even though it's forbidden by law and can be extremely dangerous. I should take a look and judge for myself. The village is somewhere among the bogs by the northwestern road. Very, very nice, very nice. Okay, let's do a little savey save. Okay. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your warning duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals. If you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Havlavan officials and traders. Could the tribes resist these soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, and slavery? At least I have time. I need to be thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Havlavan. There, you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. I need to gather some extra coins so I can save my sibling from debt. I need to grab some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player as a merchant guild. I want to be remembered as a soul who brought peace and order to the realm, a hero. I want to help people, make this region safer for locals and newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past and I want to be forgotten. I want to help people. New shelter unlocked. Ooh. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid, late summer air evens out slowly. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. There was a quest or something? Help others. While I'm here, I want to help people, make this region safer for locals and comers alike. Okay, I sleep. Sleeping in a tent. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. Nothing special, but it'll protect you from the wind and rain. You don't need to eat now. The ground will be painfully cold. Okay. Alright, you're woken by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell like a roast. No, burning meat. Burning rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left him. You see an open gate. I go outside to see what's happening. Uh-oh. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at you contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Jordan, she greets you with a nod. We used the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it was an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. A traveler or an undead? The latter, a young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burying the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave. Running away from the reek, eh? I don't blame you. She walks with you a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground around here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell mocked in a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. Prepare myself for my journey. Use the travel button to see the map and move to another area. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. You double check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. You put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt. And you get in the saddle. The palfrey knickers ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads north from here. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you've done with the north, speak with Tulia to return to Hollowin. Okay. Nighttime shelter. Travel north. Even a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lowers your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find the pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes, and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is different size, coat, and colors, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 2 dozen beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. Consider my options. Dice icon marks the actions that involve a random chance. You can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to the main roads as possible, and why adventurers move in groups. The safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple of hours. You think about the conversation you had with Tulia, you've got a lot to do and time may be of the essence. So let's do a quick save. Should take my axe and hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. Stay here, better safe than sorry. Grab my crossbow. A light hit should make them enough to scatter. Let's try this. Mortality is 0. Find ways to overcome physical struggles. You have advantage during physical altercation that involves random chance. Vitality, nourishment, armor, cleanliness. Slight, none. Unite member of the United Church, undetermined, none. Sewing experience, none. None, okay. Looks like we got hurt, so let's try that again. If we do it again, will something different happen? Let's try to jump at you from both sides. You kick the two of them away. The third one's got your leg. It hurts only a bit. Let's try to see what happens if we just wait. Observing the griffins from a safe distance, you allow your horse to graze for a bit. Occasionally you see other small animals, but you spend your time undisturbed. After more than an hour of waiting, two of the larger beasts engage what looks like savage combat, but results in merely knocking one of them on its side. The defeated griffin stands up completely unharmed, preening its feathers bashfully, while the champion walks away proudly, followed by the other members of this pack. They disappear among the trees. Ready to move forward. Alright, cool. Seemed to be the better approach. Reached the first crossroads. Nice. Keep track of your achievements as the journey unfolds. The road splits. According to what soldiers have told you, you may find a safe end by turning left. The forest to the right is lush and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song, How Did It Go? The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put there by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint, it points east, blood there, as people say, danger to be found. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. Turning left, okay. Look at my horse. What's my horse's name? My horse's name is... Sassafras. That's my horse's name, Sassafras. Sassafras is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you to choose a path, but you spent many years together, happy to go on, and takes a couple of steps forward. You spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Time to make a turn. Save. We're gonna go left. Military outpost surrounded by wooden walls set in the middle of a valley. A point connecting the deep forest of the east, the western wetlands, and the road to Avlavan. We gotta go left. Sassafras trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. The birds' songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of the nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, the beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from many dangers. You notice a stone tower, taller than the trees. It must be the inn I heard about. Made it to our first inn. Nice. Ooh, pretty. Do a little quick save here. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. Stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers guarded by expensive mercenaries. Surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There's simply no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide if not in the buildings, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, though you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapet right next to the gate. You think you notice a glimpse of smile. They were Gambesons. Each one of them dyed differently: yellow, gray, and green and linen gray. Approach the gate. Alright, we'll save. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every direction possible. The combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I ain't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass, huh? Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of a village spread across Havlavan. But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you a time to move closer. Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? Be supportive and cordial, be joking, playful, hide your emotions, intimidating, or, let's be playful. How about give it a try? Let's do a quick save, just to see. It's easy to learn the basics. Train different muscles. I'll do that one. You don't say. She gestures for the other soldiers to take care of the gate. What sorts of muscles? You climb down, staying conscious and to the point. You point at your back, hips, and thighs, then speak about the training routine that a rider follows to stay in the saddle for more than 2 days. As you enter the yard, the woman also uses a ladder to get off the wall, then leads you under the roof where your palfrey can rest, tethered with a cord to a wooden post near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside and speak with our boss, she says with the shadow of a smile. He has time. There aren't any travelers around. Other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then as they're splitting firewood. Let's get this spam out of here real quick. Bye-bye, spam. Cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. You head toward the end, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. Oh, they're killing a piggy. Your face is dirty. Should I eat? Let's see. Some kind of pendant for being a religious person. Making a rope takes a lot of time and involves complex tools that combine thousands of fibers harvested from plants, mostly hemp, linen, and straws. Since it doesn't take much skill and can be handled even by children, it's rare to find an artisan who specializes in twisting them all day long. Ropes are much more durable than leather strips and are used for all sorts of things, though the durability doesn't make them a common merchandise. It can be heavy and awkward. It's common to a group of travelers to share a single one among all of them during their journey. Let's see. The winged hourglass was adapted by the largest religions of the 10 cities, the United Church, the Orders of Truth, and the majority of fellowships. It's used in temples and funeral rites, but also decorate expensive codices or pieces of clothing. Not every soul who wears such a trinket is in a visible place as a devoted believer, but it can be seen as a sign of solidarity with the more conservative section of the city culture. Emblems like this one are meant to portray the ephemerality of life and the rigidity of time. Traditional pendants are made of steel, signifying the strength of humankind's determination and innovation. Rights tablets highlight the important role of iron when it came to fighting monsters and expanding the lands of the tribes. Other materials such as bone, gold, or even wood are also used, though various communities interpret such alterations in their own ways. The pendants made of steel are not so conscientious. Interesting. I open the door. If you're at the inn in the morning, you can spend the entire day on resting. Cool. You okay? For today? Yeah. I do it every day. I have. Yeah. I'll just tell you. That's that, but that payment I made with that card I told you about this morning is coming out, so I'll have about 112 because it's like a $4 payment coming out of PayPal too, so about 112 after today. So I made about $94 today. It was 96 with the fee, so about $94 today. Why? Is that bad? Food, gas. Okay. Love you. The locked windows make this air stuffy, and the weak fire. What? The locked windows make the air stuffy, and the weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. A muscular man is sweeping the floor near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. You're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft with a city-like accent. He observes you with a keen attention, yet avoids your eyes. I have a keg of decent ale, wormwood, bog myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot. Oh, and a lot of Christmas presents last week too. Well, you're making me feel bad. Like I got most of the talking stuff at the beginning of last week. So that was a lot of that too. You're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft with a city-like accent. He observes you with keen attention, yet avoids your eyes. I have got a keg of decent ale, wormwood, bog myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot. He fills a mug carefully and puts it in on the countertop. It's gonna spoil soon, today maybe, and we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see the good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare even among the southern tribes, and his hair is naturally bluish. The clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. The elegant tunic wouldn't stand out in the city square. The planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slowed down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise. Here you go. He pushes the mug forward. Just so you know, my pelt to the north doesn't belong to Hovlevan. You can sleep on the floor if you wish so, but if you want a better meal, you'd have to pay. We may have some leftovers from dinner, but I need to check. Okay. Thanks for the drink. I see you know how to make friends with a RoadWarden. Happy to help. As a RoadWarden, I'm more than capable of taking care of entire cask if you need me. I won't stay here for long. I'm not here to pay compliments or piss in a mug. I'm a RoadWarden. I'm looking for answers. Let's see how that goes. Meets the eyes of the puzzled look, then grabs a wet cloth to wipe down the shelves. Time to time, your conversation interrupted by splashes of dirty water in a wooden bucket. Nothing's truly free. I have work for a soul of the road, but I don't need a new mouth to babble. He speaks slowly yet audibly. I value my time, you should value yours. Okay, let's not do that then. Let's try distance. He nods and fills another mug, this time with water. I guess there's no point in waiting for Asterion then. I'm glad to see someone taking his place. Even my crew here hits the road only if they need to see the healers of Howler's Dell, and they're more than resourceful. A RoadWarden is always going to find work here, in the north. But maybe not on the eastern road. He takes a mouthful of water and drinks it with a pleased sigh. There are no guests here at the moment, or hardly ever. I can take a short break. For a brief moment he meets your eyes. Isn't that Maddie? Let's see. Ignore the alien and ask him a couple questions. I'm looking for Asterion, the previous roadman. Are you now? He goes to the table and invites you to sit down with him. I don't think I'm going to be much help. He rests his elbow on the tabletop and grunts quietly to clear his throat, but I do want you to find him so. Ask about his intentions, he measures his words. Asterion and I made a risky deal. Well, a very promising one. Last time he was here, he took 50 coins. My half of the investment. He knocks on the table with a fist anxiously. If you get my coin, or at least find out what happened to the guy, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed to bring me the news. Could it be that Asterion stole the coins and ran away? He looks at the window and starts to play with his shutter. I think Asterion ain't the kind of soul that would do such a thing. For him, it wasn't much of a fortune, and I'd risk saying he earned my trust. Not only mine, you know, it's easy for a RoadWarden to make connections. He always had places to go, things to take care of. He rubs the table with his thumb as if trying to clean an invisible stain. I've asked travelers, and a couple of my pals to find him. No real news. I know he stayed in White Marshes for a day and was meant to do something for the people there. Excuse me. It's a village in the northwest. Just stay on the main road till you reach the bogs, then enter them. You may get there before dusk. So let me know once you find anything, and we may yet return to this whole investment thing. I'll think about it. Let's see. What can I tell you about the peninsula? What can anyone say? This place doesn't even have a name, unless there's an old book in an archive that no soul knows about. You know what I call everything from here to the coast? The hunting ground. He glances at your eyes. But it's not us who hunt, keep that in heart, but the beasts in all shapes and forms. His words gain confidence slowly, which is strengthened by his deep voice. I've lived in this inn for over 10 years now, and I've only seen a couple of roads. A couple of places. It's just, once you get here, you see how harsh it is to hit the road. You have only more reasons to stay at the warm stove behind a wall, even if it's suffocating. He looks towards the windows. I'm sure you've heard a lot already. There's the people don't build hamlets anymore. There are no more ebexes from the south, and traders stay for only a few days. All of our iron is used for cauldrons, not swords or tools. What will I find traveling west, or the eastern roads is rough I heard? Well, there are hills nearby. You'll find a village maybe an hour away from here. It was destroyed by a beast almost a decade ago, nothing to see there. The goblins live there now, so most people just travel around it. They say it's haunted, but who knows, who cares? He crosses his arms and starts to sway back and forth, gathering his thoughts. You'll get to a large tree on the edge of a swamp. For the locals, it's sacred. You're not used to hearing someone mentioning pagans as if there's something unusual about them. There's a small path south, which leads to an old mine in the mountains. Nothing to find there, but keep running north and you'll find Howler's Dell, set at a clean brook. Farmers live there, and mufflins and druids. They'll let you stay for a night, but they're not cheap. If anyone thinks my prices are bad, it means they ain't been to Ape Ale Inn yet. He lets out a gentle smile. I smile politely. I know only a bit about the next settlement, Old Pagos. The soil there ain't too fertile, so they work in the quarry and help other settlements build things in exchange for crops. The forests and hills ain't too harsh, but the Seekers have a small monastery nearby in the mountains. I don't care much about them. They keep to themselves and they don't pay well. The third village is unknown to me. White Marshes, set at the bogs. I've heard it smells like a griffin's lair. I've heard a lot of nasty rumors about the place, but I won't share them. I don't want to be a lie spreader. Next ad break in about a minute, y'all. Next ad break in about a minute. So 3 villages, really. Howlers, the one near the monastery, and whatever it's called, and the marshes. Don't let the beds and palisades fool you, though. Weird people live there. Don't tell them more than you need to. You wonder if it's something he could tell other travelers as well. Are the eastern roads as rough as I've heard? Pretty much. Don't leave the main road, I'd say. Not so far from here you'll find the old dolmen. A few of my people had to spend a night there. The monkeys stole food and gauze from their bags. It was their fault. One of them fell asleep in the middle of the watch, but you know. Eastern forests are wild, the roads are rough, almost no soul lives there. One day all these roads will be swallowed by the trees again. The furthest my team has ever gone was the home of the Enchantress. You stay on the track until you reach the crossroads, just near an abandoned watchtower. From there, turn east, you'll recognize the place. It's a nice home to a lonely meadow, surrounded by a wall. He looks towards the closed window, then at you again. Kind of like our walls, but simpler. Without coding, she lives as a hermit. Eudocia. I don't even know how she survives there, but if you don't have any decent coin, you won't find much there. So back to the crossroads. If you turn left instead, you'll see a road. People stay away from it. It connects the tower and the monastery, a shortcut between the two sides of the peninsula. I was warned by the locals not to use it. It really belongs to the beasts. Have you been to the northern coast? All I know about another inn. It's far from here, maybe a day on foot, a bit less from the eastern side. His eyes once again focused on the floor. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a safe place. Close to the villages are fishers and hunters, but I don't know much about them. That's all I need. Let's see. I didn't expect to find an inn of this size in a place such as this. So you know a thing or two, after all. He had mocking tone and soon replaced by a gentle smile. It was built long before we arrived. It didn't work out well for the previous owners. Once the war ended, they left. Not enough travelers, bad trade, the villagers stick to themselves. We came prepared, and now we're prospering. When you ask him how they can afford all the supplies, he runs his fingers through his dark hair. I'm not against running an inn, but we don't rely on guests. We're the one doing all the trading. My hunters are a clever bunch and stay safe in the forest. In exchange for furs, claws, and bones, we get what we need and more, both from the south and the north. He relaxes in his chair. We have a good life here. We spent a whole lot on armor, crossbows, lumber, and spears. But another 10, maybe 20 years, we'll have enough savings to move to Havlavan and not work for another day in our lives. We take risks, but smartly. The team is stronger than ever, and I have big plans for us. It's surprising to find a purple-skinned man so far in the north. Is there a good story behind the men? Let's make sure he doesn't get bad if we ask that. I ain't seen a soul looking like this since my ma died, he shrugs. It's not a fascinating tale. Let's just say I wasn't a part of the invasion. Yet I'm glad it freed all those who were chained by the cities and their corsairs. He looks at the wall. I'm Layson, by the way, but I rarely hear that name. Is there a good story behind the inn's name? There's a story, but not a good one. He clears his throat. For years, I wanted to call an inn. Wanted to have an inn called Pelt, but in my city, it would be in bad taste. Taverns and inns named the single word were cheap, had a nasty reputation. There was the Claw, the Mugger, the Basilisk, and Blissful, I think. The good places used at least 2 words. Empty barrel, a rose in the helmet, Emperor's smile. Pighead was the exception. It was a real dive, he chuckles. In my soul, it's still just a pelt. Pelts are what we came here for and what will make us reach our goals. Let's see. You doing okay? Pain. You need anything done? I can use a job. I assume your job for a RoadWarden. Tell you what, he looks you in the eyes. There are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid for an open strike. But they've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day, they may steal our furs. I have no doubt they've got reason why merchants come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. He rubs his hands together, camouflaging his paws. I want you to reach Howler's Dell, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Ias, the mayor, about Glossia, the bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. If Glossia is ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with him to get rid of her band. He looks at the nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have a chance. A couple of days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? See if I can get 3. We'll ask. He nods with a smile. About Glossia's ban. He freezes, observing your hand slightly. He wants me to get the answer from the mayor. I'm on it. Jordan. Don't get awkward. How about Asterian? Not a large man, though broad-shouldered, red hair and beard. I don't know what to say. He raises a muscled arm and places a hand on the back of his head. He was a fine fellow, but I doubt he's alive. He always tried to stay away from things. Let's say people knew him, but he didn't really have allies. Maybe the locals know what happened to him, yet decided not to help him, or they wanted to get rid of him. Leans forward, looks at his boots. Asterian was a fine man, a quiet one, but not dumb. He aided me many times, not for free, of course. When he couldn't finish the job, it was for damn good reasons. And you know what? Looks you in the eyes. He was scrupulous, patient. I'd be shocked if he died because of some mistake of his. Maybe the bandits got to him? Why not? Humans. LASON. Tayson? What letter is that supposed to be? Oh, it's an I. I-A-S-O-N. Nothing you need to know about me to survive on the road. I'm Mason. I've been in the city. Now I'm here. Tulia. I ain't seen Tulia in quite some time. Since her squad vanished in the fog, she's been careful. Glad to know she's still alive. She's too inexperienced to lead others to battle, I think. Like most people, she needs to follow others, but she's already knows that. Nothing worse than a fighter too stupid to limit their ambitions. Maybe Glossia? Glaucia. Glaucia. Met her more than once. She's older than me, wrinkled, tanned. I don't know how she survived so long. I've heard she's from the coast. I don't really know her story. She's strong, though, and convincing. She wanted to move her band to Pelt, make huts in the courtyard. When I told her to leave, she didn't make a scene or anything, but her face, it was chilling. He looks at the stove. She may want revenge. Glossia is a cruel soul in a scary shell. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go bathroom. Be right back. 6 people for... I hope I'm just putting everybody to sleep with my narration. Everybody's coming and then falling asleep. That's my hope. Alright, let's see. We talked about Glossia. Let's see what else we can ask about. They mentioned some other people. We asked about Asterion. Tulia. Yeah, you. Bye. Hope you get some rest. I love you. Searching for names right now so you can tell me more, maybe. EUDOCIA. 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 Theodosia is crazy. She lives in a lonely house all by herself, skinny and dirty like a corpse eater, surrounded by golems. Never smiles, never cries, one of those. She never leaves her home, and if you see her from far away, looks abandoned. A few times a year, people travel to her and trade barrels of food for magical items. Interesting. Let's change the topic. You have any leftovers? Yes, I feed them to our boar, but I won't give them away for nothing. He tells you to wait, then leaves the building for a few minutes and returns with a wooden bucket and a long stick ending with a hook. Go through the gate and turn left, you'll see a bunch of bushes. We need some berries. Bring me a bucket full and you'll be done in half an hour or so. Your horse could use a nap anyway. I'll prepare you something to fill you. Hook is not made of metal or wood, it's a long curved claw, almost black. I won't do that. Looks like somebody forged for Bray. Tools are cold and not too heavy. You notice a pair of thick gloves at the bottom of the bucket. Oh, the bear is not the problem. Unlike the snakes, better scare them away with a stick or move them with a hook. Protect your hands. Little ones won't eat you, but don't get bitten. I'm sure you know how to be patient. We'll go right away. You step outside. Sassafras is napping. You hear the clink of tools coming from the armorer's workshop. I approach the guards. She's resting outside. The beast is not as large as the dark ones in the forest. Responds to touch a human's hand, brushed with a grateful grunting and rapid twitches of a hind hoof. No matter how friendly it appears, it is still tethered to the well, and you have no doubts that its charge would leave Sassafras dead in a breath. The woman notices you. She steps forward to the boar's disappointment. So the new RoadWarden, she points at the window with her chin, forestalling the question. We don't need anything now, but when we travel with our furs, we could use some assistance. She may be around 30, but her warm voice and bright smile are camouflaging the touch of time on her unpowdered face. Like many red-haired people with freckles, her skin is unhealthily pale. The boar runs up to her, absorbing your boots and fruitlessly sniffing for food beneath the beaten ground. She pats his back, but maintains his focus. How about a game or two? We have a bit of time. We can talk about this and that. Maybe we'll get a couple of coins, or lose one. She winks. We can play dice with her axe at a target. Let's see. Let's try. Let's see what the dice says for us. Your rival, especially the dragon bone you pull out, are cheerfully welcome. Two of the guards bring the table from the inn. Another one prepares a couple of stools and chairs. There are also spectators. Till the other hunters are either sleeping or have a duty on the tower. Remember, no magic, she says, one of the players. Her face is deadly serious. The game is new to you, but in no way baffling. 4 people can play at once. The wooden dice are long with only 4 dotted faces. Every time someone wins a round, they get a point, and the person with the most points at the end of the game wins all the coins. As you play, you don't feel like you have much control over the results. You share jokes, memories, and views on luck and optimal strategies. Sassafras and Tulia's camp are also brought up, but when you ask about the roads and the locals, stories are vague. Drinks are here. It's poor beer made from leftovers after the regular brewing. It's cold, sweet, and doesn't reach your head, but you try to avoid the smell. Just don't spill anything. The boar may get sick, says your bold opponent. Just a few moments, you get 2 points, which are now represented by smooth pebbles. You don't really know how you got them. Either you don't get the strategy, or it's just pure luck. Let's see how lucky I am. Let's see. As long as there's a bad roll, finish with 2 points. The second lowest score. Put a dragon bone in front of the guard in yellow armor, whose commonly exaggerated thanks are met with laughter. The table and chairs move back inside. Let me try the axe throwing then. Your rival, special dragon bone you pull out. Welcome. Guards pair a couple of wooden planks leaning against the wall. There are also spectators, and you're told other hunters are either sleeping or have duty on the tower. Remember, no magic, says one of the players. His face is deadly serious. They're going to be 4 participants in 8 rounds. You aim at the target drawn with charcoal. The person whose axe lands the closest to the center of the circle gets a point. Axes that fail to stay in the plank don't count. The person who has the most points at the end of the last turn becomes the winner. Use violent or no. We talk a lot, they don't say much, you share jokes. Let's see, said that one. Axe flies well, hitting the very middle of the painted target and piercing the plank with a pleasant thud. Makes it really difficult for the other players to outperform you. A minute later, you've won the first round, but can't expect to get lucky every time. All I can do is try my best. Hey, that's better. I won coin instead of lost it. Now respect quite a score you hear from the guard in yellow armor as she hands you your dragon bones. The other participants carry away the remaining planks. Have you ever been... the innkeeper asked me to forage for berries. Well, don't worry about it. Usually we forage by ourselves, but we wouldn't ask for you for a dragon for a meal. He gives small jobs to people all the time just to see who agrees to do them. Wants to judge who's of use and who's too proud for their own good. If you've agreed, just be sure to get those berries today and don't try to take his tools away. He hates thieves. Have you ever been at the heart of the woods? We hunt south from here. There are good hunting grounds in the western half. The second one is too overgrown. Maybe the soil's different. She shrugs, then moves the hair away from her forehead. It's a risky spot. There are treants there, and wolves, even the furless ones. And if you have to go through the tall grasses, watch out for what's on the ground. There ain't many arches in the trees. She smiles as if it's a joke. But there are all too many worms, even larger than a water leech. Tell me about yourself. What was that? After a brief giggle, her voice gets cold and serious. Nah, RoadWarden. We use names and stories among friends. You ain't one. Don't make me tempt curses. I have some questions about the place. There are many beasts around, both wild game and dangerous monsters. We spend our time surrounded by these walls, living only to hunt, forage, and trade. It's an unusual tower. I expect it closer to the gate and shorter. Like in Havlavan? Fair, but it ain't here to protect the gate. This stronghold was built long before we moved in. And not to fight off humans, the tower was meant to be used by those who observe the deep forest. We look out for fires, dragons, any winged creature looking to roost on the roof. Baldy, she nods towards a man who, indeed, is completely bald, has a great eye, and sees well even in darkness. Any interesting creatures nearby? Here, everything lives here. She flips her hair. I swear we saw a few dragons, a unicorn family, a battle between trolls and goblins, face two beastmen, oh, and a gargoyle. And a hunting queen shouts all the time. I can tell you all about them, but I won't. She winks and passes the boar on its head. You know, hunters have their secrets. Your group seems quite attracted to this boar. How could you not be? She crouches and raises the boar's head, but it steps away and squeals as someone's murdering it. It came with us from the city, just in case. We have no clue how our first winter would go, so we need some backup meat. And it works, too. Cleans the dirt. She reaches out to the beast again, but it trots away. The woman straightens up with a pleased sigh. We haven't needed to eat it so far, but it's also very funny. I learned in my home village that the farm boars are getting a bit smaller and more cuddly, kind of like ibexes. So it's not such a wild, dangerous beast, but we don't let it get too close with other animals or children. What do you usually hunt for? Anything we can eat or sell. If there's a partridge, a squirrel, or a rat, we don't complain, but when we can move as a group, we look for something larger. Deers and aurochs are delicious, but we don't always look for taste alone. There's value in bones, antlers, claws, tusks, things people use to make tools for sculptures. We use some of them to make tools and spears. You can never have enough spears. She pauses and looks at the strand of her hair, suddenly speaks up again, and we look for furs, of course. What can I find north of here? Sorry we don't go to those regions. We stay close to home, only sometimes move south or west to Howler's Dwell, but only to trade. They're fine with buying more than they need, since they then take wares to the coast. She takes a long breath, twirling her hair and gathering her thoughts. You know what? I've never even seen a beach, and I've been living here for more than 10 years now. She giggles. The only part of the sea I've seen was from Old Pagos, which is placed on a hill. I never put a toe in salt water. She looks toward another huntress who confirms that her experience is the same. But Old Pagos is a good place. As long as you don't mock their order and act nice, they'll also be kind. Boss says they're too serious for him to stand to them, but at least they don't bite without a reason. Have you ever think about necromancers? Something new. I've never been to the White Marshes, but over the years we've seen people moving away from there south, that the place has changed too much. A priest died, I think, and the new one awakens the dead. Sorry, RoadWarden, that's all I know. If she's hiding something, she sounds convincing. Thanks. Well, I told you your knowledge is valuable. I don't know. She looks at the boar, which seems to be obsessed with the clumps of grass growing next to the wall. 15 dragons, no less. Well, depending on the friend, Gives you a rating and smile. Let's say 15. If it's too much for you, maybe ask me after you spend some time around. Show us what you're capable of, or play dice with us when you have an hour to spare. These folks here, she starts to whisper, points with her thumb at the guards behind. They crave gossip. Okay, that's good. We made some money. Got some knowledge. Let's go get some berries. Knew what he was talking about. Put the gloves on, look for the bushes from a safe distance. Doesn't take long for you to notice the first serpent lying on a rock somewhere in the thicket. Creatures not that large, and even if some of them hiss at you or slither closer, the jabs of the hook keep them at distance. You don't know much about these berries. They are round and reddish, which was the color, even if they were looking for food in the wilderness. The plants don't have thorns. The leaves are harsh, so you make sure to thoroughly cover your skin with your clothes. You have to look through many bushes to fill the bucket, but the presence of insects and snakes doesn't allow you to relax. You turn to the courtyard. Two of the guards are participating in a friendly skirmish. Their wrestling is accompanied by a crowd. Enter the inn. Locked windows make the air stuffy. The weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. The innkeeper is mixing something in the pot on the stove. So you'll get anything. I put his fruits on the counter. Great. He peeks at the bucket. I've got cabbage stew with a few goose chunks free. I serve it even to merchants, if were any around. The meal is warm and filling. It's well seasoned and not overcooked. Like I said, I really have food to spare, but feel free to ask if you ever stop by. You may be lucky. I've been cooking my whole life. Thanks. And how did that old hook of mine work out for you? I see you still have your hands. I'll give him the hook. I'm fine. Oh, well. He didn't like my answer there. I'm fine. Takes two from you and nods. Need anything else? What do you have for sale? I can go and pick up a few things for you. Some food for your travels. Start with apples, nuts, sausage. Not too many at once. We need to maintain our supplies. I've got an elk fur I don't need. Its spire was caught by a pack of red wolves. Nice for a sleeping spot. Just as nice for a wall. An almost untouched bowl of soap. Priceless for a traveler. You can't tell if he's being sarcastic. Made of fine oak ash. Strong, though you should have some better supplies before you start your own bathhouse. After you mention you'd like something more useful on these roads. He looks down. I don't have any blades or armor to spare, but if you pay well, you can take one of those crossbows and a bunch of quarrels. A yew-bow, whirl cords, and a krieger may just need a little bit of oil. As good as you can get without soaking it in magic. Takes a bit of muscle to draw, but even a 16-year-old could handle it. I won't sell it cheap, but I'm ready to give a discount to a helpful ally. Let's see, we got a box of soap. High-class fur, a valuable commodity. Ooh, probably get some stuff for the... We could definitely use some rations. Buy more. And a box of soap is probably good. Nice. I don't need those, nor can I sell them anyway. I'd rather make coins than waste them, so bring me something of value. Okay. Cool. I think I'm doing okay so far.
I'm gonna tackle my wife.
I named my horse Sassafras. Sassafras is fighting off flies with its tail. You hear the clinking of tools coming from the armorer's workshop. You walk past the well and find a small open shed, not unlike the stable. Humble set of tables, carving tools, hammers, sharpening stones, pincers, knives, other tools. As long as something can be solved by a brute force, this place will find a way to do so. There are two people sitting on a long bench. The first one is a male with maybe inch-long hair, thinly shaven face, a thin, long yellow tunic, bare legs, and sandals. He ignores your presence, sewing a gamble sim with great concentration. The second person is a boy, maybe 15. He's wearing a crude outfit of a farmer. He glances at you, but soon returns sharpening a long dagger. Greetings. Man raises his head, but the boy who speaks, focused on his task. He ain't talking. Tell him what it is that you need. The man smiles in confirmation, looks at the piece of garment in his hands, then looks around, shrugs, and returns to you with a raised eyebrow. Let's do a quick save real quick. Points to the laces in front of your jacket, raises his clenched fist to your shoulder, and then gently spreads and lowers them, taking off a rope. You follow his command and allow him to properly inspect your gamble sim. After a few moments, he gives it back, then reaches for his pouch. He pulls out one dragon bone, shrugs, then another one, and waves both in the air, pursing his lips. Makes a few speech-like noises with an empty mouth, and groaning with what sounds like I don't know. Jack is as good as the armorer can make it. But then apologetically points behind him a small box filled with basic tools. He ain't that experienced as his assistant. We do this and that, only simple things. Points to the uneven seams on his own tunic, then grabs a crude bone needle and shows you its broken head. He wouldn't even if he had the tools, but you can try in Howler's Dell or Gale Rock, said the boy. Kind of, he answers reluctantly, but his teacher pats his knee, giving him a harsh look. Kid clears his throat. Yes, but we both ain't masters, you see. There's not a soul to teach us, so once I'm ready, I'll try hunting instead. Fixing things for others is boring. The man grunts a sound, though you don't understand it. Seeing your face, the boy chuckles. He said safe. Let's meet in the middle, boring, but safe. Man nods. So I did the guard stuff already. I did already talked the armor. Wooden roof covers the well from rain and birds. One of the guards enjoying a cold drink he drew from a bucket. Tells you to use only as much water as necessary. The oak and ash soap you own can help you with a cleaner. You need 3 pieces of bathing equipment to get more of this place. I wash my shell. Washing yourself with cold water from a bucket won't take away your smell, which is enough to remove the tallow and sweat from your skin or mud stains from your clothes. I step away. Journal. In yellow armor. The guard in yellow armor. Oh, Ardalit? Why do you ask? I've known her since she was a girl, so you better not bother her. If you're looking for a master of the crossbow, she's an obvious pick. Let's see, journal, archive. Hey, Stoned. Hope you're doing well, bud. Why do they ask? For a reason. Okay, reasons. Why do you ask? Because I want to know who they are. The armorer. Let me see if I can ask about the armorer. He used to be able to speak a sad fate and painful one. One day he ate an uncooked slice of meat on his journey south, and after a few weeks he realized that something was biting his tongue. Something was living in it, like a worm in an apple. We tried to kill it with fire and hard drinks, but it was too late. The flesh started to rot. We had to amputate it. He can't help other hunters without speaking or shouting, so he's learning a new trade now. Feeling much better? Good. Hopefully you had plenty of medicine and you're able to recover nicely. That decongestant hopefully helped you. With the doctor again, he gave me antibiotics, steroids, and an inhaler. Well, nice. Hopefully you're following their instructions, and hopefully you'll feel much better very soon. Maybe the youngster. Well, he works so he can stay, at least till he gets older. Then he'll have to prove himself. We found him on the road in the south not long ago. Lost his entire family to trolls. Since the armorer needs someone to help him, we'll give him a chance. How about the bald man? Baldy. And now that I have lung steroids, I'm gonna have you have mega scream. You have a supersonic scream. Lungs like Hulk. He's been with us from the beginning. His family carries power in their blood. He's the unfortunate one that struggles with the simplest spells. Well, only after he joined us did he realize how sharp his senses were, like a wolf's. Turns out he still has a talent. It's just moved from his will and hands to his eyes and ears. Hulk lungs sounds both great blessing and a curse. All right, let's see. I asked about a lot of people, looks like. I'm learning about people. Okay, return. Go outside. Daytime rest, meals or supplies, trader, tailor, safe water source. The road uphill meanders, slowing you down and forcing you to pay close attention not only to the shadows of the trees, also the tight, rocky passages. You can't help but notice a few caves and find ambush spots. Keep an eye out for any sign of life. The ruined village. I'll be able to clear 5 bongs in a single breath. That would be quite an impressive. You just go down the line like a like doing a old flute or something, just like ho, 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 ho. Get all the weed. There you go, bud. Standing in front of the gate, you hear no voices, no tools at work, no steps. Dozens of birds live among the collapsed roofs. Their fluttering, singing, and squawking is free of worries. If you want to travel any further, you need to ride around the palisade. Searching the ruins may take a lot of time. The broken gate in the north will lead you to the village. The sound of the gentle river reaches you from the east, where you see a saggy fence surrounding an overgrown pasture. Beyond the burnt building in the east, you see an oddly barren field. Broken logs and planks are charred, while the wooden walls are rotted and covered in moss. You see no ashes or dust, proving that the fire happened long ago. The smell is awful and there are no reasons to stay for long. You see no furniture, just some broken shelves, just a storage room. The valuable odds and ends are already taken by scavengers. The palisade is in good shape, and the entrance wasn't even touched by. I like that emote, by the way, of like the crying, either the soul leaving the emote's body or they're just taking a big bong rip. The amount of used force must have been huge, but you'd expect that it would push the gate into the village, not away from it. You don't see any marks of a dragon bite. A troll could toss such planks after so many years. You see no paw prints. A mage? You can't really tell. Move forward. Southwest part of the village. The buildings, some of which have collapsed, are made of wood, now charred and rotten. You spot claw marks on the walls, close to the doors and the window frames. They could belong to a dragonling
or a large wolf, larger than the gray ones, or a corpse eater. Too many options to make a guess, yet no beast remains in sight. You find the remains of clothes, furniture, odds and ends. Only one object seems to be of use, a basket-like fish trap made of vines and willow branches. If a fish swims into it, it won't be able to get out on its own. It's quite large, but I can fit it in my saddle. Cool. Let's see. You're surrounded by what looks like a field plowed in late autumn, disturbed by hundreds of rains and snowfalls. There's a few clumps of grass and wheat, but a place like this one, abandoned for years, should already have turned itself into a green lea. A barren field, maybe it was overused, but you would still expect the weeds to sprout. A curse? The path leading west from here ends at the edge of a field, shifting into a meadow, then a forest. In the north, you see a path leading around the palisade. I see the pasture in the southeast. You don't see any single sign of lifestyle that lived here in the past. Any bones, horns, antlers, or dung already been devoured by the wilderness. The pasture ends at the river. On the opposite bank, the meadow turns into a thick forest, impenetrable for a rider. What are the chances that a herd of defensive animals could get there and survive? The breach in the southern fence wasn't made by some brute force, or you find axe cuts in the spots that were ultimately broken away. After all these years, there are no tracks that you could follow. Return to the main road. Barren fields. Southeast part of the village. You find a small backyard. The ground is beaten. The grass grows only right next to the buildings. Would have been a fair spot for training dancers and fighters. The stakes of the palisade were covered with playful carvings left by children who were portraying monsters, weapons, and humans. The rubble has been pushed into the corners of the houses. The furniture is broken, but you can find something of use in one of the piles. A slightly rusty piece of steel. Once you pull it out, you realize it's a quarrel of a crossbow, still usable. It wouldn't be difficult to find a use for it. The closer you are to the village, the longer you stay around, the sicker you feel. The taste of the grass-stick juices hit your mouth, your forehead hurts, start to stumble. Sassafras, worried by your sight, pokes your head with his nose. Walk away from the walls. You go outside, keeping your mouth shut. After a few minutes, your eyes get clearer. It may be better to leave, or at least stay away from the village for the rest of the day. Travel. Do not get sick. Guard knows your arrival as you ride in. Other hunters train with spears and staffs in the courtyard, clinking of tools. Ah. Dalit, right? Oh, she giggles to cover her confusion. Are you asking me out? I ain't interested in any silliness. She brushes away her hair with her forehead. Tangled chaos all over her scalp cares not for her efforts. Well, half my life ago I was living on crops, but I bet I've shot down more monsters than you've broken eggs. Are you much of a fighter? Many more eyes turn you. I fight to protect others. While Dalit passed the board, the guards get back on their own affairs. Hero material, huh? Ain't something I'm going to be jealous about. That's a trait of yours. I had a cousin who tried to get rich as a RoadWarden. She kept it together for maybe half a year, was lucky enough to die in a village. Not in the middle of nowhere, at least she hadn't woken up. The good folk burned her in a proper pyre. Leave the shed into there. Let's do some traveling. Let's do a little travel. At least the Senate is gentle, still working with a smile. Everything all right? I have more questions. Did you ever enter the road leading through the heart of the woods? We advised not to. Have you seen this huge gate in the west made of rocks very tall? You've met a guard there named Quentin, maybe. A kind soul, but a bit slow. He almost begged us not to enter the woods. Took the longer route. That's where all the settlements are anyway. Our companion chips in. We didn't miss much. I see. Quentin. Okay. There were goblins around the walls, so we never went there, but I was told that the wrath of the herds crushed it maybe 10 years ago. If there are any survivors, surely gone by now. Maybe they moved to other settlements or left the peninsula. Or got caught by bandits. He recounted the bands to the north. With a sad sigh, there are other remains in the woods after all. Her companion hits his head forward with his palm. This peninsula really hates us. We can't make a dent in this shell. Tulia puts a hand on her shoulder, then looks back at you. Thanks for telling us, RoadWarden. If I survive long enough to report to someone, I'll make sure to mention it. Maybe I should learn more about them first. Sure, good luck with that. The man with the bird chuckles. Thanks. You're filled by soldiers. You fish out a few drifting eggs like oak and ship. Your own is not enough to help you get cleaner. Okay. Let's ask him about Quentin. I'd like to ask about Quentin. Quinton. Quinton. Oh, they don't know. Okay, then. How about the man with the bird? Is that what it was? Archive. The man with a bird. The man with a bird. Okay, he doesn't know that person. Curry Road is overgrown. Sassafras trots it if it's a chance, but more often it walks, forced to jump over larger branches blocking its path. The nearby lake is surrounded by thirsty wildlife. I observe the dark forest, ready to react if something jumps at me. A couple of stone slabs are turned like a hut shape. One of the ancient chapels raised by the priest of the United Church in the days of few soldiers needed fewer shelters. The dolmens proved to be especially durable, though the conditions they offer were harsh. Entrance barely wide enough to let you walk inside. It's meant to keep larger beasts away, including your palfrey. You can't spend the night here. You dismount and look around. Well, let's just do this just in case. It's the most common religious sign of the city folk, adapted by the United Church. Orders of the Truth and the majority of fellowships is used in temples and during the funeral rites, also to decorate codices or jewelry. The wing and hourglass portray the ephemerality of life and rigidity of time. When possible, they're made of steel, signifying the strength of humankind. Touch the hourglass and pray. Stone becomes your open palm coldly. The hourglass doesn't start to shrine. Birds don't cease their singing. There's no incense inviting you into chapel. Close your eyes, gather your thoughts, and rub the sacred sign with your fingers. Your soul is focused and tranquil as if awakened for a long rest. Your prayer is built from phrases that you've heard repeated dozens of times by the priest, but some words come straight from your heart. When you ask for right's guidance, you feel invigorated. So be it. You conclude as tradition has taught you. After my prayer, I step away. Enter the chapel. Beams of light through the gap between the rocks, but you can hardly see anything. A torch will fill the place with smoke, but a candle will suffice. I wonder how many travelers have sat on the cold rock, observing the entrance and fighting with their heavy eyelids. No candle. Let's see, I'll save. You unpack the tinder box from your saddles, then place the flint and linen char cloth on the narrow slab sticking out of the right of the entrance. Decades ago, before the southern invasion, people used fire strikers made of thick steel, but all you have left is a cube-like piece of a harsh pyrite. It's not the best, but enough to make a couple of sparks. The weakened light is hardly enough to let you examine the chamber. Touch your surroundings, bringing the candle closer wherever something catches your attention. Even though a part of the ground is covered with a single massive slab, there are sections free of any flooring. You see soil, small rocks, sand. In one spot, you find the remains of a charred wood. You notice sticky soot on the walls. Part of it's covered with black marks and pictures, possibly letters. There's no doors or walls considered the size of Dolmen. It only has one chamber. Bed? Religious symbols. Guard knows your arrival as you ride in. The other hunters playing with their boar, putting it aside and feeding it. You hear the clinking of tools coming from the armorer's workshop. I'm going to enter the... I think I'm going to sleep here. The Kree guards are arguing about something, but then ease tension with a friendly banter. The innkeeper is sitting behind the counter, cutting vegetables. Something bothering you? Wait. Evening. Enter the inn. Sleep. Sleeping on a bench. Let's see. Your blanket won't be much of a bed. The staff will be keeping open the nearby door, walking around and talking with no another. Sleeping here will be rather uncomfortable. Comfy bed with a clean blanket and an isolated chamber. You also get a large breakfast, a wash tub with soap, and some cloves to wash your teeth. Let's do that. You hear a thunderous roar. You rise to your feet and rub the sleep from your eyes. The doors are opening. People are shouting orders and words of warning. As you open the window, you see what's behind the commotion. Something is on the other side of the wall trying to get through. The guards are fighting it off with torches, spears, and crossbows. Thanks to their light, you see the large, furry paws on top of the wall walk. As far as you can tell, the beast is but a single leap away from getting inside. I need to help them. Look for your Gambian and blade, still a bit foggy in your thoughts, and once you find them, you struggle to get inside the jacket. As your habits kick in, you see the innkeeper right in front of you holding a candle. You're a guest, stay here, he says without a shadow of hesitation. My team has no time to worry about outsiders. Just after his words, you hear cheerful laughter from the wall. Judging by the way they point their fingers and lower the weapons, the beast is fleeing. Well, I shouldn't expect people will need my help all the time. The small room is quiet and far away from unwanted eyes. You take a calm bath, rest on a soft mattress, look through the window, and enjoy the minutes of safety. In the morning, you find a stool with a large wooden plate bearing an aromatic breakfast, a warm mutton stew, and cold yogurt. The innkeeper is putting firewood into the stove. He asks if you need anything. Let's shave. Any leftovers? Not today. Maybe not today. No, maybe tomorrow. That's okay. Probably good to have the food rations. That's all I need. Where's the guards? Let's do a quick save again. If you think you can handle it, we'll throw 8 times, see if half hour do so. 4 players, each one gets a coin. Winner takes all. Still in? Yep. Acquire a score. You hear from Dallas. She hands you dragon bows after to carry away remaining planks. You know what it is, Jordan? For you, it's 13. Oh, okay. Never mind. I approach the guards. Armor's nowhere in sight. Go to the well. Don't need to do that. Well, let's travel, I guess. I just need 2 more weeks. Go talk to my friend at Tulia's camp. Let's see how they're doing. Oh, nothing to do here. Alright. Let's go to the Dolomite, I guess. Walls. Ground. Even though a part of the ground is covered with a single massive slab, there's a sections free of any flooring. You see soil, small rocks, sand, and one part remains charred wood. Charred wood? Part of the floor is littered with the remains of an old campfire not more than a couple of months old. You see dust, burnt bones, and wood. This wall above the spot is covered with soot. Burnt bones? Soot? Part of it is covered with black marks of pictures, possibly letters. Pictures. The largest part of the wall is covered with engravings. It's difficult to figure out what they're meant to portray. One picture is obvious to you, a long arrow pointing down. Part of its writings is covered with soot. Arrow? Dig. Look at the ground. You could grab a knife, some light, and dig through a few inches of the soil and sand, step by step, finding probably just rocks, but you doubt it's going to go smoothly. Well, let's save and see what happens. Examine one spot in particular. Dig. Let's try to dig and see what happens. Start where you stand, pushing aside the layers of dirt and disturbing a few colonies of worms. The most interesting area turned out to be hidden beneath the remains of an old campfire. You move all the ash and pieces of wood till you find a well-preserved plank. You dig around, finding a trap door locked with a steel padlock. I break the trap door with my axe. You take the axe, but realize the padlock is much easier to break through. The wooden planks, even if a bit moist, are in great shape. You look for the right angle and make 3 strong swings. After an encouraging clang, the padlock falls off. Nice. You lift the hatch and the heavy, humid air suggests an abandoned farm cellar. Your candle allows you to estimate the tunnel is roughly 15 feet deep. There's no ladder you can use. You think about lowering the rope, realize that one of the brick walls is covered with large holes, meaning you used a sort of vertical stairs. You hear no sound coming from the tunnel, but the moldy walls and old cobwebs not very welcoming. Yeah, well, we'll do a quick save, and if something bad happens, we'll just reverse. Climb down. You gotta move slowly. Learning of a new route. Oh, we do have an ad break in about a minute, y'all. Ad break in about a minute. You hug the cold, moist wall, seeking for support for your boots. It doesn't take long before you feel comfortable enough to jump down. Then light up another candle. Both the walls and the floor are made of stone slabs. You see no movement, no other sources of light. The short tunnel leads you to the small room. Walk inside. The room smells of rotten wood and fungi. Abandoned junk is scattered on the ground, shelves, earthenware jars, rotting scraps of linen or leather, wooden plates, bones for carving, and rusty iron tools. These odds and ends may be years of decades old. The basement could be just as ancient as the main floor of the chapel. The one thing that seems to be uniquely fresh and durable is a small wooden box, held together by a few fiber cords. Sure. Let's take the box. It doesn't feel empty, but it's light. You shake it for a bit, trying to guess what's inside. You can't open the box without cutting the cords. Box belongs to someone. For now, I'm going to keep it in one piece. Using the light of the candle, you memorize the holes. You climb up quickly. Nice. Is this your box? Okay, nothing there. I'm playing it pretty safe right now, but I think it's okay. Windows are open while there are a few guards eating and drinking. His hall is clean. The innkeeper is adjusting the counter and shelves with a cloth. Someone with coins shows up. Show me your wares. Oh, I already bought wares today. That's all I need to go outside. Let's see inventory. I have 10 coins. That's not bad. Can't open out damaging the fiber cords. Trying to guess what's inside, but you hear nothing. You can't look inside without cutting that. We'll leave it be for now. While valuable, they can't survive in Dragonworth on their own. They're owned by messengers, scouts, and city folk. Sassafras. Large fish swims into it. Basket lid? Nice. I'm not doing half bad. That's all I need. Let's travel to the place that made me sick and see if we can do a little bit more investigation today before we get sick again. The tracks of the human footwear and many, many more ape footprints cover the path formed around the Palisades breach. As far as you can tell, the freshest footprints lead to the village. The wooden stakes spread on the ground are rotten, covered in mushrooms, small flowers, insects, and worms. A good source of animal or goblin food, though you expect them to also hunt for the birds and eggs. The meadow in the west turns into a forest quickly. The grasses in the north surround dozens of tree stumps already covered with moss and fungi. Going south, you reach a large field. You don't see any crops. I shouldn't enter the forest, especially not in this area. It's unpredictable. The meadow is lush and colorful, and so dense it's unsafe for a rider. For a couple of minutes, you lead Sassafras with a rope, avoiding the potential disaster in case of a hoof falling into an animal den. Being forced to travel around the palisade every time you get here is going to be a pain. Most of the tree trunks look similar and have a comparable size. They were most likely planted with the sole purpose of being cut down, used by the locals. Though cutting so many trees at once, it alone could provoke the wrath of the herds. The process could be spread across a couple seasons, and you can't be sure if that was the case. In the west and north, the clearing turns into a wild forest. In the east, you see a road leading north. Main square. In every village, the main square is the fanciest area, meant to charm the travelers, yet this is way more than you expected. The houses are as big as Havlavan, and the paved ground looks a lot of work and materials. The walls, now charred and riddled with holes, are made of expensive coated wattle. The tiles for the roofs also had to be brought here from a different settlement. You peek inside for 3 smaller buildings, the rotting remains of their former splendor. The birds living in dozens of nests respond to your arrival with quite a commotion. You don't find even a single dragon bone, nor a tool or a piece of furniture left unbroken or unrotten. You're surrounded by bad smells, dirt, animal droppings, and garbage. The well also stinks. It has no bucket, but you'd be afraid to use it anyway. Who knows how many birds have relieved themselves inside, or how many old rats have found their death while climbing up the walls. You hear something coming from the largest building, and you feel a slight ache in your stomach. I'm going to save just in case something bad happens. You step cautiously toward the scent of urine and sweat. The flickering candle shows your broken furniture, yet no signs of burnt wood. You consider pulling the door, with a masculine voice proves that your presence is not unnoticed. I did not want it to come to this, but you stay where you are. Whatever you put inside, be it a shoe, a hand, or you damn tinker, it'll get a bolt. I'm a road warden, so I kind of need my thinker. Will the boot be enough? Let's talk. Don't miss, I'll get angry. You're gonna have to swing my axe. I'm a word warden. He chose this place to visit from all that there are, even outlaws. Come on. Hi, Caesar. He pauses, then goes on before you respond. And maybe you're telling the truth, so let's say this. My little ballista here is all pulled and ready. You won't be doing anything stupid, right? No running, no jumping around, show your hands. The man's voice lacks confidence, and his accent is tricky for you. He could be from a distant south. As long as you don't speak too quickly, you understand one another. You don't hear any other movements, breathing, voices. You lean your axe against the door frame. Make sure your knife is well hidden. And walk inside. Gotta be safe. Good to see you, Caesar. Hope you're doing well. Then smell the urine hits you with full force, but the tools and utensils are hard to distinguish from the rubbish. The route to the upper floor is blocked by the collapsed roof and loose wooden beams. There are scraps of rusting iron and steel on the ground, detached from the now destroyed barrels. The scavenger is sitting on a blanket in front of the tent, pointing at the floor with his loaded crossbow. Not a short man, though, a bit skinny. He's tan, dark-haired, and has seen his share of struggles. There are long claw scars on his left cheek, another one that would divide his eyebrow in half if it hadn't been consumed by a fire, like the rest of his forehead. His clothes are untainted by vanity. He's barefoot in a dirty linen shirt with rolled-up sleeves and simple pants that use a cord for a belt. His long beard and hair untrimmed and tangled. I'm not a threat. Nice. Everything okay? Finishing the year almost now, huh? Yeah. Everything's good this year. Coming to a close. This week's a fun week because it's a wifey curated week, so it's all wonderful games that my wife got me. Some games she got me for Christmas, and it's going to be games that she bought me out of the love of her heart. So we're going to be playing lots of fun games there, and see a little bit different variety. Today we're playing RoadWarden, which is more of a text-based RPG. So we're doing that today, and then you'll see some Disco Elysium, Darkest Dungeons, Winterborough, and Milo and the Magpie. So a good little variety, but it should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. How you doing? How's your year ending out? You wipe the dust off the steps, but before you sit down, you hear the man's annoyed voice. Now don't get too homey. It's the only place here that's not just ashes and debris. I'm not sharing it. You better right ahead. I already piled up whatever hasn't rotten. The candle lights are dancing on the burnt face and arms. He moves his crossbow just enough to make sure he won't shoot you by accident. I saw you, Horace. Maybe you could help me. What are you looking for in this place? You don't sound like you're from the north. I'm looking for another road warden, a man known as Asterion. Never met him, but surely heard the name many times. He vanished long before I got to the coast. At first, people were asking about him. Now I think he's dead. He scratches his thighs nervously. I'm hungry, so damn hungry. I can't hunt or fish with all the ape men around. Can you share anything, Roadster? Maybe a drifter wouldn't beg if I hadn't lost my bags on the road. Prunes, sausage, and some nuts. Don't know my dearth. He bites into the saucer right away, but after a couple of solid bites, he puts your gifts on an unfolded tunic that's lying on the floor. Without you, I would have run after birds with my ballista, but need to save the bolts for the ape men. Because of those stinkers, I can't roast here, and raw meat makes me want to puke. Thank you. After a moment of hesitation, he grabs one of the plums. Now, Roaster, he said with a full mouth. If you have questions, ask. I'll say a lot to make you get me out of here. Bills makes me sick. And the guts and the thinker gets easier with time. If you're patient, must be the air, the smell of death and ape men piss. He pats his stomach while laughing. Tell me about yourself. He gives you a song again. What for? I have no legacy to keep alive in tales. I may tell this. And after you take me out of here. That sounds neat. I'm very happy this year for Netherware, man. Solid steps for becoming something more of a simple hobby. Yeah, I'm excited, and I still have to play a couple more of your games. I gotta finish one I started, and I gotta finish the other one, the other horror one that I haven't finished yet, which I believe was the prequel, or it might have been the sequel to the prequel I played. But yeah, I still have to play your stuff on. I had to finish the gym one on the channel, and then I gotta finish the one that the other one for the one I started a long time ago for you. So I still have that in my mind. Don't you worry. It's still in my Steam library. Let's see. I should ask what he wants. What do you want to travel to now? What will you give me for my help? Let me explain first. I was in Hallersdale, the closest village to the east and north, and people there are nice, you know? Not like in old Pagos. They're all boring and grimmer than a crow. But they cry coin for everything and damn good coin. I wanted to look around the ruins, see if anything left, then moved to Pelt and hired the hunters to help me there. No luck, a bunch of griffs jumped my pack bird. I just bought it. It's missing the floor, fast and nimble, but not brave enough to listen to me when all that screeching and scratching started. So it ran away with my bags. A few fell on the ground and I pulled them back. You see how it is. I won't travel around with a tent on my back. He taps the crossbow with his fingers. I need maybe a day more, just a day, and I'll have all the iron scraped from the barrels so I can move forward. But I can't take all my stuff alone, and Without me around, the 8 men are going to break in and steal my shit. I need to stay here, but since you have a horse, come back tomorrow. Help me return to Howler's Den. How about it? I just need to know if the road is safe. Safe as can be, I mean. What do you want me to do? I need you to make sure that there's no danger hiding in the road from here to Howler's. You say something, sweet? Okay. Love you. Night, mama. No problem. When you want can, the new one, Gotta Get a Job, is a short game, but I think people can face it during a whole stream because it's a challenge. Nice. Well, let me know, and I will do my best to make sure to get to in the new year. I do have a couple of people reaching out, asking for demo plays and other things, so I'm going to do my best to kind of circle back on the ones I've been putting off and or just haven't done because of other life stuff or themed weeks. So there's a lot of new stuff to come in the new year. I'm very excited to play tons of new games and tons of new streams in the new year. Hopefully it'll be the most streamed year yet. That's my goal. I know there's some danger as long as we can get there and safely return. Roaming Mountain. He naturally rubs his hands like, this ballista has hit more beast skulls than I have fingers. I've never lost a finger, Roaster, only the toes. You know, if it's a short game, it needs to be compensated with difficulty sometimes. If it's like a short game, but it's like artfully so, or if it has high replay value. But yeah, difficulty also works. Maybe to prove it, he starts to count his fingers. So see if this road is clear. Come here tomorrow. We'll pack my stuff on your horse and move out. But don't come when it's close to evening. We're going to need 3 hours on our feet. I won't push through the night. Even sleeping next to an 8-man tribe is safer. And don't make me wait for too long. I can wait for a couple of days if I find some food, but if you don't get back, I'll have no risk it, no matter what. Why Howler's Den? If you want to go south, we travel to Pelt, the north. I see your point, but I've never been there. Can they afford my iron? Do they have means to pay for it? If I need coins to find a handy bunch that'll walk south with me. I need new staff and bolts. I know the village is a nice place and even has a smithy of sorts. I've had a chance to look, though. It's a large inn, a safe one. They seem to be rich and have enough hunters to guide you south. You can use iron to barter. Well, it's a shorter path, I guess. Fewer spots to get surrounded by corpses. If you're sure it's the best option, fine. I'll trust a roader's judgment. I don't work for free. I have ways to pay you, don't worry. I can give you dragons, but I have to sell the iron first, so I'll need a bit of time. You see, 5 for a short escort would be plenty, I'd say, but if you want, I can give you a secret jar of mine. Very fine mixture that scares 8 men away. Works on pebblers, too. When you ask if all the stench of urine is somehow related to this potion, he just winks and chuckles. Learn more about the villages you visited. I mean, sure, but I don't have the connections there, just my eyes. You know, longer pause. When you get to Howler's, you'll meet the mayor there, for sure, Thias. And whatever you do, don't ask her where she got her coins from, eh? She's rich, stupid rich, but don't ask her how that happened. Trust me, he scratches his beard with a mournful look. I'll escort you. Are you sure no undead are around? I've seen none. People say it's been less than 10 years since the herds came. Don't let know if anyone bothered with raising the pyres. If not, the dead are all roaming the forest now. Clicks his tongue with frustration. Maybe that there's a walker somewhere under the debris, waiting to break through like a dragon in an egg. You better not dig. Get in the wrong place. Time, moisture, and the damn boars devoured all the loot. A couple of days now, and all that's left is the iron I carried here. Plan to get back here with some hired muscle and clear the class buildings, but doubt it's worth the time and risk. Do you have any idea what happened? I saw many ruins. There's no treasure and skeletons here, so the place means as much as dirt. Someone was barking too loud, so the beast broke through and made them quiet again. And that's that. Talking about nature's fury brings bad luck, don't you know? Heard about some bandits. If you're highest neighbor, they're all north or east. I stuck to the western road. No shell bothered me. Sorry, I can't be a hoe. The neglected road's partially overgrown. Here river to the east, separated by a lush meadow filled with crickets. Colorful grass covers the entire fenced pasture. Large stones placed in the middle suggests it could be playground for ibexes or maybe just an old garden. You see a couple of small sheds, a latrine, single building to the south completely burnt down. All these places were cleaned out by scavengers. As someone approached the large ruins to the north, the terrible stench of feces and rotting food scares you off as well. Paths are covered with goblin footprints. In daytime, so the pack should be asleep. If the beasts were active, they would try to scare you off or to hunt down your mount. This is their territory, and once they wake up, you will face a furious enemy. Go somewhere else quietly. Northeast part of the village. The debris was partially moved outside the destroyed houses, but you find nothing of value. Table, cupboards, shelves, and bits and pieces are carefully ransacked. The wild growing vegetables and herbs are the only remnants of the abandoned gardens. You spot fresh human footprints at the entrance of the latrine, most which lead to and from the center of the village. You know, it's a set of simple tools leaning against a pile of rubble. A wooden spade. Hey, Jester. Hope you're well, buddy. Thank you for stopping by. How you doing? Wooden spade and a shovel, a pointed stick, a hoe with a bonehead, a stone axe. All of them are too old and too awkward to bother with transporting them around, but you'll know where to find them if you need them in the future. Good to know. Walk away from the wall. You see a crouching family of boars, some of them brown, some black. You consider turning back, but you pay little attention. After a couple of grunts, they run north. The river's not too wide yet unusually deep, with banks altered by the locals for decades, if not centuries. The water is cold and clean, yet filled with long plants growing from the bottom. You'd rather avoid jumping inside and drinking from it, but you're tempted to at least wash your face, neck, and hands. Dozens, if not hundreds, of small fish are looking for tasty leaves. Try to avoid their predators. A dance of life, completely unaware of your presence. Realize there's something else buried among the kelp, a rusty sickle sticking out of the ground, a couple of stone axes and hoes. The wooden handle and large wagon are covered with moss, but you recognize their shapes. Why would someone drop them here? On the opposite bank, the meadow turns into a thick forest, impenetrable for a rider. I turn back. I spent some time setting up my fish trap. You bait the stick. Doing pretty good. On vacation at my best friend's place for New Year's. Nice! Got any fun plans? You guys gonna have a good time? Get some sparkling juice or some nice champagne for the New Year's? Any fun plans? You think cover the edge of the lid, tying it together takes a few good moments, but you'll be easier later on. You toss the entire trap to a bush and push it into the stream. It sinks entirely. Who knows how long it would take before something large enough swims inside. Better to not wait too long, otherwise the prey might die of hunger. Step away. Travel. Into the wetlands with the many streams, ponds, and fish, large birds run and fly between the gray sparse trees that are covered with moss. Oh, you know, it's a state where some pretty fun and relaxing things are legal. Oh, no! Well, that makes sense about your name, Sinful, so hopefully you have fun. Hopefully you make some money or have some fun. Having a good time. Good. I'm glad you're having a good time, buddy, and hopefully everything turns out positive and good for you. Hoping for the best for you. Large birds run and fly between the gray sparse trees that are covered with moss, mushrooms, and critters. For a human, it may be an unwelcoming and harsh realm, but the overwhelming swarms of insects prove it's a realm full of life. The danger, with teeth and claws, is hidden below the water surface, so stay away from the banks. This plant shouldn't be alive, not without leaves. It doesn't resemble the other trees of the wetlands. Something else. Just make sure you make it back in one piece, Jester. You get off your horse. Yeah, take a load off. Hopefully you can take some stress off your life for a little while and just enjoy the end of the year with your friends. Get off your horse and prepare your axe. The water is filled with dirt and dead plants. It smells like an old corpse. The roots are spreading far, breaking through the water's surface. You don't see any saurians in the grasses of the shore. You approach the table-like altar made of 3 limestone slabs. Were these rocks originally as formless as they are now, or was there a point in time centuries ago when they were precisely shaped and decorated by masteries of artistry? There's no way to tell. Sassafras is peacefully observing the dark grass and slapping flies with his tail. Whatever is filling the air, it's clear that your companion sees this place through very different eyes. I'll look around for just a moment. I approach the altar. It's a clump of dirt and the uneven nicks fused by years of winds and rains. The bottom surface of the table is dusty, but you don't find any spiderwebs or mold, even though there's a perfect spot for them. The tree roots cling to the altar in many spots. They're firmly attached. You struggle to move them even by an inch. The cream-colored limestone is cold and smooth. I try to make an offering. Rune. Food. Coin. Ooh, box. Box with cords. Box. Ah! Put the box in the domain on the altar. Once you take it back, it's shaking a bit. It's not. It's very atmospheric. Very nice. Box. What do I have to put on the altar? Winged hourglass? Nothing happens. I walk away, looking at the water. Yeah, I think it's very atmospheric music. It's very nice. How deep it is, you have to consider the saurian could be camouflaged in the mud, waiting for a victim to get near. Since you don't have a plan to kneel down and drink, you're hoping to dodge a potential strike. Once you get closer, you start breathing again. The water is dirty, it's also shallow. You see vegetation, swimming insects, and even small fish. All of them stay away from the tree roots, while they're like a spider web covering the bottom of the pond. Aside from that, you don't see anything that could catch your attention. Needle fern one that's lying on the shore. It's brown, covered with hair that resembles that on your arm. It's moist, soft, and warmer than you expect. Do something with it. Touch. Kick. The root is flexible and stretchy. You blunt it, sinks into it like it's a pillow. Whenever you lean away, it returns to the original shape. Strike. With axe. Axe. You can't tell what there was. Yeah, well, better spare it. Large tree. What was it involves some paying for it? Really listen. What do you know about the pack? Getting rid of them will do the trick, sure, but as long as their buildings aren't razed to the ground, new beasts will move in sooner or later. Though I ain't one to stop you from reaching into your pouch. Now you need to take care of something first. Hunters or not, we won't raid a lair blindly. In the meantime, bending forward to brush the board. Make sure you've looked around the entire village. My crew will get mad if it turns out another lair is just behind the corner. Be sure there's no soul around when we fight. We don't do rescue jobs. If we do, they cost a lot. The boar grunts and turns around, leading her to the other side. Speaking of which, Ryukon Bee squints her eyes at 13 coins, but we'll take some of the loot we find. We won't let it go to magic swords and rings just because. Not that I expect any to, but just try to do it later. Roast in. Wait. Sleep. I feel like I'm in a forest at dawn. Exactly. That's the kind of atmosphere it gives you for sure. And like the bug noises and the rushing water. Just oh man, I'm watching this video of a dude reviewing restaurants that have been battling trademark rights, and Whataburger has quite the lore. Oh man, what kind of lore does Whataburger have there, Jester? Like most people, you wake in the middle of almost every night. Before your second sleep comes, you spend an hour or two taking care of your belongings, shell, and soul. People spend this time with their friends, families, lovers, but your routine is different. You don't have to take care of essential tasks. Check on sassafras. You take a calm bath, rest in soft mattress, look through the window, and enjoy this minute of safety. Large bearing fried breaded mushrooms with gravy and chamomile tisane, putting firewood in the stove. Any leftovers? Here goes the stove. A couple of minutes prepare you a meal. Here you see the bowl. Offals, a couple of carrots, and a refreshing cold cup of water. He asks if you need anything else. Talus? Thias. Thais. Thais. So much. Lots of legal battles of local places getting sued by the big chain. Did they like steal the recipe or the name of the burgers or the coloring, or they just stole like the trademarks from other places? Sounds like. Say she's a good mayor, but she's rich from birth, so also careless. She doesn't know the struggle, the hunger, the dirt, so fancies her clothes more than one should. She thinks she keeps her village safe, even though it's the druids who do all the work. He looks down, but finally speaks again. She may be frivolous, but isn't stupid. If you're smart, better keep your eyes open. Okay. I'm gonna lose, that's okay. Oh, I did. During the final round, you get ahead of everyone, and spectators perfectly comment your moves. The winner takes all. 3 dragons are placed on the table, and you put them into your pouch quickly. Table and chairs move back in the building. Dalit, thanks for your playing. Is there anything you need? 13, never mind. No, it's like super complex. Basically a chicken or the egg type of thing. Oh, like which came first. I see. Let's go to the well. Okay. Travel. I have to see what the one thing I haven't seen it is. Let's see. Claimed by grasses. To your east and west, you see shadowy alleys behind damaged buildings. Take a close look at the gate. Someone spread dirt and rocks beneath and around, seem to keep plants stuck in the ground. While sassafras gazes gladly in the meadow, looking at the pile of dirt, you let out a sigh. Oh, your next ad break in about a minute, y'all. Next ad break. Start with larger rocks, moving the ground around them and pushing them in a single pile. Do the same on the other side. This simple shovel and pitchfork help you a lot, and once you get used to them, the work goes smoothly. You're done before you get too tired. Passing through the place will take you less time. Cool. Ah, 2 flopping fish inside. You prepare your axe, you open the lid and reach for the catch. You stun the animals one by one with 2 careful blows on the top of their heads, then finish them off with a knife, cutting underneath the gill plates. You spend another minute or 2 bleeding out the fish in the stream, cover them with a waxed linen sheet. Very nice. You should eat them soon before they spoil. Let's see. I set my fish trap again. Okay, inventory. I'm kicking butt. Let's do some traveling now. You slow down among the shrubs. A small pack of dragonlings is feasting on a carcass in a gray ark. One of them, with red feathers on its arm, straightens up and gives you a curious glance. Its head tilts left and right, forward and back. It screeches at you but doesn't move forward. It turns to its meal. You wonder what would happen if you were on foot. Would they let you be satisfied with their prey, or would they run after you? But if so, for what reason? For now, you have enough space to move forward, yet stay safe. The powerful jaw breaks the monster's bone loudly, then bites off and swallows chunks of meat. I ride forward, but keep my distance and look over my shoulder. The beaten road serves you powerfully well. The forest to your left becomes sparse and brighter than there are dozens of human-made paths among the fruit-bearing trees. On your right, there's a large pasture with at least a dozen massive mouflons. 2 of them, already sheared, look comically small. Straight after that, you ride alongside vast, flourishing fields filled with rye, still green, preparing itself patiently for the second harvest. The path ends with a massive wooden gate, the stone wall separating you from the glow of lights behind it. It isn't as tall as the roofs, but you can't imagine climbing to its top. There are pretty much no cracks, no missing bricks, a sign that many hours of labor, especially considering how massive the settlement is, as wide as the city district. The birds and monkeys are now just a distant echo, replaced with the sound of carts, running, hammers, saws, laughter, and shouts. Maybe I can rest here. Leaning against the closed gate, covered by his shadow. He's young, tan, and short, elegantly trimmed red beard. Green gambeson, he wears an expensive tunic decorated with colorful trim. From his arm hangs a steel helmet, though the metal is so thin and mostly made of wool and leather. He moves into the light and takes on the posture of a disciplined soldier, not a mercenary. Standing upright with his chin up, there are 2 weapons on the ground leaning on the wooden beams of the gate, an axe made of steel and a wooden club. He doesn't reach for either. He dismounts smoothly, he still has some vigor left. Sassafras holds his tail high. A narrow path leads northward. Turds. 2 field workers, one with a hoe and one with a pitchfork. They wave to you. You can't see their faces, but their clothes are simple. Gray pants and vests made from hemp and wool. Even the art's like 50 sepia photos. At least, it's got, like, I would say copper and coppers and grays and very muted tones. Let's save just in case. I wave back. Why not? They talk for a bit, looking towards you and pointing at your mount, then walk away, disappearing behind the walls. Corner, the guard smiles, yet avoids your eyes, and has to clear his throat before he speaks. Welcome, traveler. If you're not here to make trouble, Halsdell welcomes you. We have the whitest flower there is. He bows and realizes it's a well-practiced performance. If it's new garments you're looking for, you can order everything you need right here, in all colors, shapes, and sizes, capes, boots, vests, and robes. You're yourself a master of the needle. I can assure you that we have fabric you're looking for. His act is over, he glances at your mount. In a moment of silence, his eyes get wider as he observes the childlike fashion. Sassafras and Halsey patrols the roads. You can pet its side if you want, but no sudden movements. Even though your palfrey pays no attention to the man's careful touch, the guard grins widely. City folk, eh? The mayor's busy, but I'll ask her. Give us a moment to let you in. He knocks at the gate, which is then pulled inward by 2 other guards, a man and a woman, wearing their own gambesons, similarly green, but tailor-made to match their figures. The nearby buildings are simple houses made of wooden beams and covered with thatch, while the storehouse is even more modest, with a roof made of planks. The watchtower is a ladder made of ropes and sticks, no stairs. Give me a moment. The guard strides away before he finishes the last word. The others close the gate behind you and observe your mount carefully. Your eyes are on east to a humming creek running through the center of the village. Calming sound, eh? That's Howler's Creek. The guard, like most of the locals, is taller than you. Wide but shallow, but there's near been a flood in years. Pa told me there used to be nae bridges. Neighbors crossed it with boots in hands, and 'tis clean like a raindrop, but there are nae many fish. We're the cleanest village in the north. Her companion chuckles brightly. When the guard returns, he's still alone. She can come out. A friend of mine is in labor, eh? The mayor wants to be there when the child arrives, but I asked to show you the village. Fine. Approach the watchtower. Tie your mount here. We'll keep the kids away. Most of the neighbors are getting ready to celebrate. Once you're done, he grabs the rope ladder. The view from up there is gorgeous. Even though the ladder swings in all directions, the guard gets to the top quickly, like a monkey climbing up creepers. You, on the other hand, need to stop and wait for the ladder to calm itself. When you join the man on the wooden platform, you're a bit dizzy. Leaning on the wooden parapet, observing the area a bit with a smile, look around. See the nae place like Howlers dwell. The guard points in every direction, giving you no time to contemplate. Next minute, he describes the fields and their crops, the flocks and the pastures, shepherds inspecting the fences, the ancient gardens of trees and bushes. Larger than the village itself, the sunlight dancing on the stream to its own tune. If you're to believe everything he describes, this place has access to everything in abundance. The sweetest honey, the most fragrant bread, the softest wool, and the beer, it's excellent. He sounds like a city merchant who's trying to sell an old house. What knowing near Halavan, you could find 5 larger, richer settlements. Oh yeah. His little middle connects both parts of the village. According to the man, the northern gate is hardly ever opened, as it leads nowhere now. Near the eastern gate, there's an Ape Al Inn, where you can find a bed and victuals, and then the stalls where Akos rewards our work, unless we annoy him with pointless talk. He lets out a chuckle. On the opposite side of the creek, there's another white house, and belongs to Bayan, the best clother in the north. The priests live in the southeast near the wall, but they do not talk to strangers. You also hear about the hunter, the cooper, the fisher, the miller, the pie maker lives with his sister, the baker, the smith and her husband, and the candlestick maker. The carpenter lives with his kids. Some of the larger buildings could accommodate 2, maybe even 3 generations at once. There could be more than 100 dwellers here. You consider stopping his speech, but he suddenly points at the islet again. There, see, the mayor's coming. The one wearing purple. You're free to join our traveler. Try to get down quickly, but 2 steps are enough to make you sure that it's a bad idea. You wait for the ladder to find its balance. You're relieved when you touch the ground again. You untie your palfrey and follow the guard. You pass a small pasturage surrounded by a wooden fence, a few loose chickens, and a tethered boar. The fancy buildings are covered with whitewashed clothing and surrounded by vegetables, herbs, and flowers. The bridges are wide enough to carry even a wagon, but for sassafras, walking on the wooden beams is far from pleasant. The islet is empty, but you notice this empty stall painted with shapes of colorful flowers. Along the entire path, you notice more and more people observing you, smiling, and casually greeting you as you're focused on your own tasks. Finally, you reach the main square. A large tree grows in the center, surrounded by dark water, held together by a thin wall perfect for sitting, but the smell coming from the liquid makes you think of rotten eggs. The plant reminds you of the tree you saw in the south next to the swamp holder. In the north, you see an Ape Ale Inn. Judging by the tables, stools, and benches outside of it, it's open for guests. The villagers are chatting and dining loudly. You catch their curious glances. On the side of the dining area, the merchant is arguing with a tall, broad-shouldered worker, an old man sitting by himself eating a pie, with a walking stick leading his table. A young woman is cleaning with the empty mugs of the creek, speaking with a man at least twice her age, maybe her father. There's a large wooden roof right next to the gate that shelters carts, crates, and sacks. You move your mount next to the donkey to a beam placed here just for this purpose. Without a moment of hesitation, Sassafras starts to chew on the nearby haystack. You have some time to make sure it doesn't struggle with your bundles. She's sitting on a chair with a 4-year-old boy on her knees. She's holding his hand gently, showing him how to eat gruel from a bowl. It's not a cheap meal, though. You spot nuts, berries, and milk, and some added honey makes it yellowish. The kid's clean and quiet, and once he notices your arrival, he crams his mouth with a spoonful of oats. Now, love, the mayor titters. Do not get distracted. She rubs the meal off his face. A few more spoons, and you'll go help Papa with the kitchen, eh? She gives you a radiant, though apologetic smile, then turns her attention back to her companion. Observe her more closely. Her long, full-sleeve linen dress must have been dyed once in a blue and once in red to achieve its dark, fancy purple, which would draw even looks in Havlavan. From her left shoulder hangs a green woolen cape as thin as a shawl. The brown belt in her waist has a large steel buckler that portrays a running deer with unrealistically large antlers growing in all directions like tree branches. Unlike her tribesfolk, she's pale with powdered and rough cheeks, and her lips match her outfit. They're a bit closer to wine red. The thick gray strands in her long blonde hair look more like a fashion choice than a result of aging. Her eyes are the color of her cape, keen and vigorous. She's shorter than most people around, though would be the tallest woman in most of the northern settlements. She's around 40. Her slim hands add fragility to her appearance. Her posture is upright, her legs confidently crossed, and her delicate voice assertive. She makes plenty of gestures, but her shoulders hardly ever move. The boy lets out a gentle cough, and after a pat in the back, the mayor puts him on the ground. You did a great job, love. Now I need to speak with our guest, darling. She addresses one of the inn workers, a girl close to 15. Take him to father, will you? Her tone suddenly gets firmer, leaving no hints of a question or suggestion. Yes, ma. She responds. Both her hair and her eyes are nothing like those of her brother. Neither of the kids resemble their mother. So we have a RoadWarden again. Please sit down. She vaguely shows you the palm of an open hand, letting you pick any place you want. Sit on the guest. The flowing water hits silently the rocks and woven stakes surrounding the isle, then splits the two stream beds. The Havelvan, the river, is surrounded by tall walls, the banks from deterioration, and the water is seldom free of dirt. The smell is as fresh as it would be in the woods. Observes your outfit carefully, smiling as you with kind approval. Once your eyes meet, she hardly ever looks away. Her voice gets much warmer. I'm sure you're hungry. My husband will bring us something soon. Appreciate it. Mention it. Hunger makes me peevish, and the day is too nice for that. She taps her chest and looks at the flock of birds that fly above, loudly heading south. As we're waiting, be good, so good as to help me understand something. If you have but a mercenary, I cannot imagine a single reason for you to choose this realm for your wardening. As Asterian's disappearance, that Nae's Gloria treasure to find here. Her pale fingers form a tent on her stomach, then clasp, leaving the forefingers pointing at you. You were sent here by the merchants. They want the peninsula. Use yourself touching the more obvious sides of the potential deal with the guild and the city chief, the troops, their pay, the patrols that were established, the overview of taxes, trade routes would bring new life to this place. Try to sound to win-win. Serve you patiently without interruption. I see. She finally responds. Twists her deer buckle left and right. If it's that simple, I'd be eager to applaud, but it's never that simple, is it? Her eyes fill with melancholy despite her smile. I appreciate your coming with a carrot, not a stick, but when it comes to the guild, there's always a catch. Her accent's almost identical to the one used in the city. Sort of catch. I'm not telling you anything I know. I can't ask you to trust me, but I'm not hiding anything. You don't have to trust anyone blindly. Speaking from experience. To really sound that confident, she titters and waves her hand by her chin as if I just offered her compliment. I've seen such negotiations during my studies, though I can't say I took an active part in them. Let me show you an example. She theatrically clears her throat, patting her chest with one hand, covering her mouth with another, and leans forward and rests her elbows, allowing her hands to freely make gestures. You make a deal with the settlement. Flour and wool in exchange for coin and tools. You send the first traders and they imply that you're ready to pay for more for, let's say, parchment. You want no more rye, just the parchment and wool. We can ne'er butcher any more mufflins. The locals say, don't worry what you answer, we'll send you a small flock. Just turn one of your fields into a pasturage. As she pretends to speak at different characters, her voice comically shifts and she has no issue switching between accents. As she swings her head about the table, another year goes by, and while there's no more need for parchment, the village lacks some crops. The tribe needs no more tools and coins, plenty of coins, also just seeds, and the guild is not satisfied. Sending our wagons costs a lot. There's more highwaymen now. If you want us to come again, you need more mufflins and to sell us our cheese. And guess what? With a haunting laugh, she straightens up and spreads her arms like someone a third of her age. Turns out that the village can't say no anymore. They lack supplies, seeds, and land they can't refuse. Don't you think the city would see value in keeping you strong? No soul in the square reacts to her loud laughter, but all that doesn't mean it can counter every single city ploy of my own. Good thing about living here, the kind of people are around us. She nods to her two little girls who are carrying a basket filled with the vegetables between us. If some of us struggle, we all have to deal with the consequences. We all struggle, but we all benefit. But Halvavan, if they see profit in chopping off her arms, they'll sell them to first bidder. She gives you a sad glance, but she cheers up after a sigh. Let's finish the introductions. I'm Thias, one of the keepers of the Ape Ale Inn and mayor of Howard's Dell. I assume it would be convenient for you to take my answer back to Halvavan. She wonders if a moment's sake, when could we expect the first caravan after winter? It depends on what you can sell and what you want in return. The food gets served. The refreshing aroma of roasted mutton covered with thick sauce made of mint, parsley, and honey tempts you to bite and right away. The juices are sinking into the round trencher. A plate made of simple brown bread. There's also a small bowl filled with chopped red radishes and a sliced boiled egg, and a mug filled with cold buttermilk. It's all brought by a few young people, all of them referring to the mayor as their mother. In the end, the innkeeper himself shows up to wish you a good meal. He's wearing a clean orange tunic and not so clean apron made of hemp. He politely introduces himself as Eric's, and after confirming you won't get sick from what he's prepared, he leaves you and his wife to your conversation. Thias tears the meat into smaller pieces and eats slowly, often expressing her enjoyment with a hum. So like nearby ground is fertile. The village would gladly pay its taxes in grain and vegetables. The squad of soldiers would provide additional protection. Our youth is strong, so we don't need your guards or our walls. But a lone RoadWarden won't keep the roads passable. We need fighters willing to patrol the pass, even the heart of the woods. That's what we expect in return. You're not an expert when it comes to linen, cheese, and wool, so the mayor spends a good couple of minutes describing the outstanding quality of what the village has to offer, especially the clothes, which are meant to be as unique as those made by Master Crispus. You vaguely recognize the name of the tailor shoemaker, but you've never earned enough to pay him for much as a single sleeve. Of course, you'll never reject some steel and bronze. I lack alloys for sickles and size. She then repeats a question about standing a trade route. The guild is not sure what the peninsula has to offer, it's going to take more than your village to convince them. But you won't find much in the other tribes. They have barely enough to survive, even after they trade for our crops. For we have only decent soil in this realm. At least the people of Gale Rocks have salt and barrels of fish, or creeks sell meat and wood. Actually, if you haven't been in creeks yet, the farthest village in the northeast, you could give them a chance. She nods a smile. They could use her help while keeping the roads safe. White marshes in their hand, as well as old pagos, are close to worthless. For a trade route, that is. After these words, she stands up, walks to a table, and offers her trencher to an elderly man who sits there by himself. With a trembling voice, he thanks her, chewing on his soggy bread. She sits down, wipes her hands with a clean cloth, just the folds of her cape, and once again crosses her legs. Tell me, Jordan, how's Halavan? I haven't gathered much news since the invasion. Things stay humble, starting to look brighter. The harbor is full of life, and kids grow strong. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. Everyone has their own bed, but new generations ready to start their own fight. It's far from great. Children who lost their parents during the war had no trade in hand. There's not enough settlements to send them away. And I was afraid as all lost to hunger. Her chuckle was trimmed with scorn. Good to know I was wrong. Invasion started. Some merchants were cheering in their houses, happy that they were sell out all their blades and food they had stored. The panic will make us rich. She imitates the voice of a pompous man. That's why when the southerners reached the villages, they found almost nothing to eat. She sighs. Staying in a remote peninsula truly can be a blessing. Well, we can't change the past. How can I help you, Jordan? Looking for a Asterian. Is your palfrey a mare? We have 2 jacks. We could use some mules. Her voice is harsh, and I don't know where he went. We haven't burned him or fought his awoken shell. It's not our problem. It's the wrongdoings. He failed and won't get a second chance. He meant to escort Egdea, a daughter of mine, to my betrothed in Gale Rock. She was a great archeress. The road from here in the coast is not that dangerous. When they saw goblins on the road, Asterion ordered her to push through right into the trap. She touched her deer-shaped buckle. They got jumped like a bunch of wealthy pilgrims. A RoadWarden worth their gruel should know better. He can't fight with a blade, but my girl, she never had a chance. She sighs and looked at the gate. He disappeared. Soon after his pitiful attempt at apologizing to me, closed the doors behind him for good. I'll let you know if he ever tries to return. Try asking for him in the north. He spent most time between white marshes, Gale Rocks, and creeks. He wasn't that eager to share his plans. He didn't do anything well forbidden in our laws. He's simply stupid and cannot be trusted. But this isn't Havlavan. We have no rich folk to dread. Treat each other fairly. Lost in our thoughts, she rubs the neckline of her dress. One good thing I can say about him is that he didn't try to justify his decisions or to avoid the consequences. Rather have him prove first he can do what he's asked of him. Her words carefully. She's with the fogs now. The goblins were after food till they carried her shell away. One day she's going to charge at our walls, awoken and empty. Even though she was a bit mawkish, her heart was strong and patient. She could listen to people, was ready to help them and cry for them. I could tell you stories, but for what? Let the dead rest. At one point, there were 12 kids living in our house, 9 girls, 3 boys. They come and go, as it should be. A few were already with the forest, but most were all grown now, even starting their own families. She looks away at a girl wiping spilled milk with a wet cloth. To be perfectly clear, there aren't exactly our children. It's custom of our village for the mayor to look after the orphans. Eric's has a big heart and more patience than I do. She speaks, her smile widens. Thanks for the help. Backwoods corner used to be dark, dirty alley with muckers working even in daylight. Worked there with Octavia, the miller, in exchange for doing chores with her. Large shipper next to the alley, working on exotic boats of unusual shapes, needing hands to work. They offered food and coin to many local thugs, and with time, more light and stalls show up in the alley. So it's the same family that ran the Boarhead, and to think that I dared to doubt the old lady's endurance. People like her, brave enough to bear the toil of the worlds, going to bring salvation to us. It's her eyes. Are you sure? It's the first I've heard about it. Glossia has been around since years back, but she's not much of a nuisance. Well, I can't give you my answer. I won't ask our hunters to endanger lives and pursue some gossip. What a splendid idea. There are only 3 villages in the north. White marshes farther north by the western road, Gale Rocks by the northern coast, and creeks in the far east. And we'll get my answer. I'm paid for passing the message from here to Pelt to the north. Asking me to ride for you through half the peninsula and back is a different deal entirely. 3 dragons. Fair. Similar, before the war, merchants were wearing really long dresses and robes, but way too long to my taste. They see no reason to keep. They always wear a shortage of fabric. People wear tunics like in the old days. But I can tell folks wear headgear. This way, I hope the visitors rather won't stand out too much. And who knows, maybe our little village here is going to help those unfortunate clothiers. I'm sure we could spare a few. He's alive. He brought us some news from the north and paid off his debt too. Drinks too. The farther away he stays, the better. I was in a ruined village south of here. Took his tongue. I don't even want to think about the tragic fate. No one can negotiate with the wrath of the herds. It's better not to find you upsetting your neighbors with these sad questions. It's a challenging time for us. Wounds I won't forget. Consider it right now, she says. But if you want me to give you some answers, let's see. Some gestures of goodwill would be a great start. Since you're the guild's messenger, I need to know you can rely on. She gives you a wide white grin. Only first step. Of course. Do you even know the power of tax?
If you think it could be serious, ask me to.
Calm down, Siri. She scoffs loudly, shakes her head. Do enough for my village, and I'll handle you a beautiful signed letter, a list of all the things my neighbors are looking for, as well as what we can give in return. Your superiors are going to see more than enough to prepare their offer. I think that's fair. One more thing, though. She puts her elbows on the table, leaning close to you. If you go behind my back, I'm not going to wait for the dagger. I'll end you first. She rests her chin up against her open palms, giving you a discernibly warm smile. I'm sure people already know that we have a new RoadWarden. Maybe ask around to see if anyone needs your help. The more my neighbors trust you and need you, the more willing they are to offer you better pay. So kind of you to ask, but before I ask you to run, let's see how you can walk, shall we? Her eyes wander left and right, and she gestures for a nearby guard to move away. Gestures at a few other souls to follow him. While a few other locals cast curious looks at you, they turn away as quickly as you notice them. Mayor's shiny green eyes are still locked on you, and her voice is close to a whisper. Since Asterian's disappearance, there's little trade in the roads, and not much news reaches us. Be so kind. Her flirtatious tone distracts you with how obvious fake it is. Help me learn something interesting tales about our neighbors. I knew you deep down was a true sage. She titters and straightens up, adjusting her cape without haste. Do you know something to share? They cleared the camp of brigands. They went so quiet I almost forgot about them. She rubbed her chin with a thumb. They managed to stay alive till this day. Sitting such an inexperienced group here, so the officials misjudged the land. You don't say. Knowing that, I'll prepare a few very tempting suggestions for the officials. That's all I have to say. We talk and talk, but I still don't know where you're from, Jordan. What's your story? Have you lived in Hollowville your whole life? Yes. See the city for the first time and it being surrounded by a couple of small houses, and it feels a strange feeling, isn't it? Even after my second winter there, I felt like a stranger, but those who know how to live in the countryside close to the wilderness always find a new home for ourselves, don't you think? Gives you an encouraging smile. You mean Beholder, the guardian spirit of the wetlands. Every fall we bring it our gifts and in return prizes with blessed fruit, the flesh of the forest. It's older than the oldest books and the oldest thoughts. The druids help us honor its sleep and show us how to ask for help. Either of these rituals would be of use to you. After you ask her to tell more, she grins her. You mean white marshes for sure. I don't know all that much about that. What's happening there? We avoid their lands if we can. I shouldn't gossip about with strangers. We can talk about on another occasion. Reaches for a buckle and voice grows cold. There is no secret, traveler. There's hard work, risks, and sacrifice. Support those care about me. The good things that happen to me shine on the people just as much. Think about before you mention it again. She adjusts her cape. It is what it seems like. The greatest village in the far north. She raises her hand and makes an inviting gesture. Hope I still prove this and that. She winks at you, but suddenly interrupted by a pained cry of a boy. Hurt his knee during a fall. An amused elder tries to calm him down. The mayor shrugs it off and titters. That means your eye again. Life's good here. We have what we need, and a lot of what we want, building on top of more than 12 generations of hard work and bravery. She spends a good few minutes telling you about mouflons, wheat, rye, hemp, cheese, wool, proud of every glimpse of prosperity. Wherever she mentions an artisan, shepherd, or farmer, she doesn't miss a chance to mention how significantly she'd improve their conditions. She also omits some topics you hear now of tales, songs, ancestors, rituals, or days of prayer. It's like listening to a tax collector. Only at the very end of the speech does she mention the wisdom of the elders, now kept in this teaching of the druids, who help her guide those who trust her. They heal our wounds in our gardens, she explains. They change the topic to all the fruit, trees, hares, and nuts in the woods. Australians don't eat just wild game. Salt fishes and goats, what animals do people breed in the village nearby? Meats of the tribes, yeah, as delicious as any. Our druids say that birds and fish are better for you than pork and mutton. Would you believe? Even if you're right, our creek has very little life in it. We rarely catch more than 2 fish a day. Even though the counter stands outdoors, it's not dirty or rotten. You could guess like the other furniture, it's brought inside every night. Eric's approaches you with a smile and leans on it with the surface of the fist. He's portly, taller than his neighbors. He's got freckles, short gray hair, and an elegant beard. His long woolen orange tunic with a decorative cut right under the neck and loose braids at the edges. How can I help you, traveler? His accent is heavy, nothing like his wife's. He's not with a heavy boot and looks around as if he's just waiting to get back to their task. His fingers are still dirty from weeding the garden. Caught some nice fish. Need many fish in our creek. I put them in a soup or bake them for sauce. I'll give you a healthy meal for each one. 2. You take your fish inside, making quite a bit of noise. Once there, he returns holding 2 small packages wrapped in wax cloth, somewhat waterproof. I have my own things to worry about. Neighbors keep their own company, but if everyone to seek my wife or 4 speakers. Let's see. You say if expect travelers to get here any day now, come around. Ask around, come tomorrow. There was one vagabond, but he was not here for long. He didn't do much. A timid fellow, talks loudly, but is afraid of everything. His face is touched by flames. He has a big ballista. He says his word with a strange accent. And a large bird is a beast of burden. I do not know what to say. He shrugs. He went south and most likely is gone. Sack of white flour, mumbling yourself and occasionally cursing. The other locals walk away, giving you space to trade in peace. Weevils, he points at little dark blue insects trying to flee. Shit me fire, 'twas ground a few days ago. Now he pies for us tomorrow, looks like. He puts a sack on the ground. I'll take care of it later. A RoadWarden, eh? Eva the mayor cared enough to see you, and kids are lining up to look at your horse. Strangers are like ghosts to them now. He's wearing a simple brown robe with no hood, a rope inside of a belt, and a modest trim made of green thread. It barely reaches below his knees, revealing his sandals and crude pants made of linen. At the same time, it's way too large for him and hangs from him like a bag. He's around 40, short and a bit greasy, humble beard, and his fingers aren't usually long. Let's see. We have... Looking for a trader? I'm looking for a trader. You find much of marketplace here, but you're at right spot. Everyone brings here have abundance, and I either sell it to travelers or divide it among workers. Builders, artisans, things that here are in the mine. He runs with eyes over the crates and barrels. I call myself a trader at just Achios. I could show you your wares if you want. He smiles gently and looks towards your pouch. Our shelves are getting covered in dust. You could use some dragon rings or treasures. My neighbors will look at you with some kind eye if you bring them. What do you say, commercy? I don't need furniture or barrels of food. Do you have anything for use of traveler? The Eva, though he had more than once, he didn't leave much behind. Smelly hoarder. At least he bought a blade from me. A special one, a sickle sword with a tip wider than 'twas at the grip. Long as the fingertips of shoulder and near the sword, and a knife, single edge, brought my own steel and melt for it. What's it good for? Fencing? Cutting bushes, creepers, roots, and it'll fall a tree, but it was a fine tool. Nods at a passerby, but his smile disappears as quickly as it's shown up. Pathfinders use it. My pa used to have one as well. He chopped nuts with it. Nuts and mufflins. Pretty much anywhere. There are hills from here to the coast and bogs in the north, the heart of the woods. Can help you with it. Do you need any help? I need a medicament for my daughter. If she's hurt anything, he raises open palms, show he's not holding a knife. She's a teen and wants to start hunting in the woods. I can teach her much, but I'd sleep better with her having a healing potion. You have. He hesitates almost 17 days. Bring me the potion before the last dusk, and I'll pay you 5 dragon rings. Where can I find such a potion? The safer bet is Old Pagos, the mountain of crazy monks. Crazy and boring, more boring than a Mouflin. You can also head south, east of the crosses, behind Pelt of. You find Dolomin there, it's an old city, and reaches a clinky pouch and pulls a massive iron key. I'm meant to open some secret passages there. I meant to pass the key to her, but you never showed it. She didn't want to take the stall from you. Dragons that get here alone. Village 5 is fair pay, and I'll mention all the neighbors how helpful you are. She hates me, so it's better to have her take after her mother. Since you have to know, our laws make me admit I was a wife beater, and by my own deeds, I lost my family. My daughter has a new father now. I'm allowed to marry. He starts speaking faster. He also wags his finger at you, but I never touched my girl. Keeping her safe is the right thing to do, even if it makes things right. And keeping the key at your side ever since. Inventory. Well, now I know what that is, I guess. Right here. Great, now let's open my little girl. Gets herself swallowed by a dragon. So we said 5 rings, it's yours. Thanks, RoadWarden. I'll take my reward. Clears his throat, and while some of the crates and barrels are empty, they still carry an assortment of odds and ends, tools made of wood and stone, pots, mugs, seeds, vegetables, fabric. Takes a few minutes to look through the wares. As he unwraps the first one, you recognize it, what is to be a shape alone. Tell me this is a beauty. He chuckles and lets you hold the shiny battle axe. The haft is long, but the head is light. I know what you're thinking. Your eyes say everything. He praises the weapon loudly. As you bear listen to him, you see a reflection in the unused blade, as sharp as they get. You're not a smith, but you see not a spot of rust. Take a swing at hardly any effort. Leather straps holding the piece together are just a decoration. Handle is smooth as glass and perfectly fits into your hand. Man chuckles. You like it, eh? Now I doubt you can afford it, but that's all I have. The frame is cheap, made of oak. It says glued, it says quiet, he said, shaking in the air. Not as fancy as iron or ones or oil. Carry it in the case without looking at the corpse eaters and goblins, probably for a traveler. Take a look inside the lantern, you find a piece of candle. Not a great match for people living in a wooden house. Hide and glue are easy to make, but I asked more than 4 wings. Last sack is wide as a saddle and 3 hands tall. It contains a bunch of undyed linen sheets. Keep them for traders, but we could use a few dragon rings. And who knows if we're ever going to be next caravan. Interested? Not right now. Nothing for now. If you're ready, I'll start packing the tent. If you don't want to wait, start putting on iron on a mount. Be quicker, just say the word we can leave. Asking you to watch for the beast, and wraps the sharper scraps of iron in his cape, folding the tent and putting it on the horse you take for a while. You can sit down in the large pile of sacks and bundles. There's a large walk ahead of you, but for sassafras, much of a burden. Once you clear the room, you walk away. At first you hear only the birds and the horses, then the man starts to whisper, "Faster, eh? The apes are looking at us." Nothing we can do about it. I lead to the northern road. You move forward, slow down by having to secure the bundles of sassafras back and carry your own bags. After half an hour, the man asks for a break, even though you shared your food with him. He's not fully recovered from a day of hunger, but the farther away you get from the ruins, the more cheerful and talkative he gets, more speaking about the thing he needs to buy and how much he hated the damn place. Save. 2 dragonlings, each about 5 feet long, approach you from the opposite sides, getting ready to charge at you. They lash their tails and screech. They're fast, using to chase their prey near the roads, with a much larger advantage in an empty field than in the forest. Even on a horse, you could barely outrun them, and your best option is how to hold your ground. Scavenger knows it as well. He fires his crossbow, hitting one of the predators right in the skull. Clumsily falls down without another breath. Other dragonling jumps forward, surprisingly silent. The man reaches for a dagger, not much longer than a monster's teeth. A crossbow. The arrow flies a good feet away from the creature. With heavy heart, you put the crossbow in reach for your blade. Let's try that again. So that's not going to work, okay. It's decided only a dozen feet away from you, then attacks the soul who appears to be less prepared. You hear the man scream and you move forward, having a single breath to take a wide swing at the dragon's neck from top to bottom. That's all it takes. The head flies away and wetly thuds the ground. You take a look at the scavenger, who lies on the ground cursing and holding his back. The monster has bitten off a chunk of his flesh and his blood covers the path. You help him calm down, give him water to clean his wound. Prepare for the rest of the journey. Apeshit, I need to go to Howlers, ask the elders to help me. Good job, Roaster. We can move after I load my ballista. You nod. You can take the animals with you. Sassafras will be able to carry much more to handle this man's equipment. You need to get to the druid as quickly as you can. Not so distant howling already reaches your ears. He tells you ignore it. Once you get close to the village, he lets outside. It's one soothing view, eh? Guards open the gate quickly and take care of the scavenger's bundles, which Sassafras welcomes with a nicker. The man answers a couple of questions and asks if anyone has found his pack bird. Then asks someone to help him get water from the well. Thank you, Roadster. I just discovered a new music artist, Stone says. Kill Carl. And I think he's my new favorite. Nice. What kind of music does Kill Carl do? If he has any soap, I'm not going to chop off my damn arm. He clicks with his tongue. If you wanted coins, you have to come back tomorrow when my pouch gets heavier. And would prefer to give you a potion that repels 8 men instead. If it's useful, not as much as in the south as here in the woods. I'll be here tomorrow or later. Don't leave before you pay me 5 dragon bones. If anything, I can always leave them with the mayor. I'll be here for at least a couple of days. You'll find me around after all my recent camping. If your eyes kissing the nice strong wall, he'll start to laugh and walks away. Goodbye. Take care of my horse and look around. Old fisher nearby is throwing a tiny sparkling fish he caught. You can see a crying boy, 3 older girls. You probably should. I could use a room. Smoked mutton, a sack of dried fruits, nuts, biscuit, eat fresh, and pay with work. Coins are not much worth. Let's move as well. Let's say 1 ring for enough food to fill you for days. The hull of a van, that kind of price would buy you 3, even 4 times as much food. I also have something special. Just give me a minute. Tis a teeth set. If you're afraid of what he's going to show you, he opens up and teeth cleaning. See? Points at 3 different compartments: salt, cloves, and mint. You want there. 4th holds only a small pedestal made of polished stone. Or twigs you need to last for months. Seeing you're not convinced, he takes a deep breath. Well, we do let outsiders bathe in our creek, but give me 2 dragons and I'll ask my kids to get you in shape. We'll get you a tub with soap and rose oil and they'll wash your clothes in water. Cook you something nice, as much as you can eat. Sure. But before you take it, he puts the box in front. I got a hazelnut, twigs, and the sheath. You can place them in any time. What taste are you looking for? The rations. And that. Bath and dinner. And with some oil, he served a raw cabbage head, a smoked quail wing, and a cup of yogurt. While the youngsters wash your clothes in the stream, after an hour, you return to Eric's. Thanks. one room, comfy bed, locked door, a lot of space. You also get a larger breakfast, a wash tub with water and soap, a cleaning for your shoes and underwear. Sure. The sound of rain wakes you up briefly. Before you return to your sleep, you think about your plans. Riding in the mud is difficult. Sassafras will have a rough time, especially on the unpaved grounds. First sleep ends, but your usual 1 hour break is instantly interrupted by noise. You stand up, walk to the window, and see the reason for the commotion. A group of workers just outside the inn drinking and laughing. Eric's the innkeeper is also among them. You could join them, but if you do so, you won't get a good sleep tonight. After just a long day, you may end up exhausted. I just want to rest. Shorten my leg and go back to sleep. Clean bed, tightly shut window, and warm blanket. In the morning, you find a stool placed by your bed covered with fried, breaded mushrooms with gravy, a slice of bread with butter and cheese, chamomile to say, and once you get dressed and go downstairs, a young boy is covered in mud and speaks unusually loud and enthusiastically. He mentions that sassafras has already been brushed and watered. You nod, but he runs outside without noticing it. The innkeeper's leaning at the door, time of time carrying out another bowl with either stew or gruel. High is nowhere to be seen. Scavenger sitting on the bench near the creek bed, apparently napping, though he winks at you when he catches your glance. How are things? Not bad at all. Bought what I could sell. I have a plan to do next. I don't care. I'll wait for a couple days, craft some things, rest for the forest. I'll leave when I leave. He scratched the creek with his beard, and I feel I've eaten a troll shit, eh? When I landed here, I had my pile of bundles and trinkets. Now I'm starting with nothing again. I should have listened to the warnings. The land belongs to no man. Shall have it. You saved my life, or what's left of it, and if I could give you more, I would. Need to pay the locals for the bombs of damn belly, you see, so as much as we said, 5 dragons. Happy to help. Your roaster, people ask you for help. They don't think they'll steal from them when they're in their beds. Pats his back. It's not the same when you're a drifter. They don't ask me to stay to marry their kids or help them with their harvest. If I plan to pay for the room or buy stuff, you talk for quite some time. He claims he and his packbird came here by boat, about which he refuses to speak. They landed just next to Gale Rocks, a large fishing village near the northern shore. People there were irritable and willing to idly chat with him, but opened their mouths after he helped them at the smokehouse. On sunny days, the locals hunt on the shore, and when it gets dark, they hide behind the walls, guiding the fish. When the weather goes to shit, they boil water for salt and put fish in it, then hop in the barrels. Though I don't know, they don't have many trees around. Then they sell the meat for the villages and, places for crops. To stay away from the white marshes, though no shell told me why, I joined a group of fish traders who were going to Old Pagos in this monastery. Hate that place, everyone does. I traded there for a bit. The villagers are colder. They spend days praying and talking on and on about their duty and gray like an ashworm. I left at dawn, me and my bird, and that wasn't a mistake. Attacked by a short bear-like creature, he tried to run away, but following his bird was a bad idea. He fell over in a thicket, so the monster had time to get to him. I hit it with a bolt, wasn't enough. I kick it, so it bites my legs, tears my flesh away. I doze off in the pain, but can you believe it? That lazy bird came back and charged at it with his beak. His dagger was enough to get through the surprised animal's belly. It ran away. The bird was patient. It let me lean on it. My ballista scared Griffs away, and I got to Howler's Dell. That's where I found the elders. They agreed to heal me, only for coin. Told me it's an exception. After a few questions, you'd sure they'd be by the elders. He met the local druids, held by the villagers in great esteem. They didn't want to talk with me a whole lot. Said I'm impudent. His tone was filled with mockery. You hear that? I spent time with Thias. At least she wasn't too boring. I shouldn't tell. I won't. I already know all you need to know. Chuckles. I'm just doing my own thing, walking from wall to wall, sleeping where they let me, selling what I can, buying what I need, saving dragons for another day. Used to be a sailor. People called me Pyros because of that, He brushed at the burned skin on his forehead. I'm not one to push a plow or patch ship sails all day, though. I don't care if a corpse eats my bones one day. I'd rather be free for a few years than cage myself in fears for decades. I'm damn good at staying safe, or rather I was before I landed in this shithole. Touched the scars on his face. I haven't gotten one of these in years. Didn't take 2 weeks. I almost lost my legs. Spent all my coin in Howler's Dell for Elder's magic. Not the first time I have an empty pouch, not gonna lie, but there's no coin waiting here. Once I push all the iron to the locals, I'm heading south. Though I won't ride alone, I'm making sure that mistake again. As for Timo, she's usually at the creek just outside the southern, doing laundry. But look at that Zenith picture, right? Very nice. She wants to find herself a husband. There's not much in it for you unless you want to be here, unless you will be here for the marriage rights, but it'll make her happier. Thanks. The gate. You find the three washwomen are walking down the path, chatting loudly. The wet hair on their arms and legs shine counter to the mud of their feet. Some of them wear silk shirts, all have heads wrapped in kerchiefs. You know from the city how hard something as dangerous their job can get. You glance over the laundry baskets filled with clothes and buckets of urine. They notice you. One of them puts their things next to the fence, tells the others to go ahead without you. Her companions giggle, but loyally leave the two of you alone. I was hoping to speak with a traveler, she starts and looks away. She was both very direct and distracted, struggling to explain her plans. After a brief conversation, you try to sum it all up. You seek a man who'd agree to take part in the marriage rites of your druids. She nods significantly and freezes. She's tanned from work, but her face is young and smooth, and since her hair is hidden, her bright hazel eyes keep drawing your attention. Does any man, she interrupts you angrily, someone who stays in the sun and works hard for us and our kids. You ask if she has any children already, and after another minute of her awkward explanations, you guess that she doesn't. It'd make a difference for her to move to a different village. We live good lives here. I'd rather stay, but I could leave with a safe convoy. Follow the guard's direction to reach the whitewashed buildings staying on the western bank. Next to a small garden of flowers and herbs. It's well kept and clean. The plain beaten front yard's parts covered with sand. There are open window and catch a glance of furniture made of smooth, almost shiny wood with hints of dark cherry-like red decorated carvings of plants. A woman in her 40s sitting on a wooden bench. Table is covered with fabrics, threads, and needles made of bone and iron. She's sewing a long sleeve. Now I get it. I was like, this kind of music reminds me of what game? The first Diablo. Yeah, I went back to the village. Yeah, that definitely has like a Diablo vibe to it for real. It definitely probably was a good piece of inspiration for the music. Quick and confident, her brown, wavy, shoulder-length hair is tied with a wreath-like braid, and clothes are simple and inconspicuous. Doesn't have a lithe leg, but you don't notice any cane. You observe her a few moments until, without sparing you much as a glance, she encourages you to speak with a grunt. You found one. Her voice is low. Doesn't stop work. Comes to need some work. I'll take 2 to 5 dragon wings for fixing jackets, but you'll need anything more from this one. To get truly stronger, you'll need to make it better materials. Just a silk made by a spider. Meteorized. Let me think about it. Ah, 20. Oof. Yeah, I don't need any repairs. I can tell. I don't hear any hint of mockery. That's a lot of work, and I can tell if I were to give you anything, people would see it and let me know. Show them some rags. The prices are high. You reach a pouch, and she answers the nod. It'll take me a day or 2 to finish with fine fabric. Your city clothes are just fine for the wilderness, I guess. What I'll give you is for the time with lamb meat and mead and pathfinding. The longer the outfit you want, higher the price, though I consider the things people say about you as well. Fitting for a rich city official takes 1 day of work. Takes 2 days of work. Okay. Well, I can't afford any of that right now. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see how the Pelt people are doing real quick, and then we might call and we might visit our other friends too. Eric's. Barely talk to him ever. He stays inside cooking and spends a lot of time with their children or in the garden. I admire people who take care of orphans, especially if they treat them like their own. Not just a free hand, but to plow the field. He tilts his head to the right and frowns gently. I don't think he's much of an innkeeper. How about? I like the games you choose, man. This one is particularly gives me strength to create some game of management, resources, all that. Yeah, and there is something special to like a text-based adventure too. quiet one. Everything we wear is from her. This included. He grabs the bottom part of his tunic and stretches it to a bit. I appreciate your appreciation for the games I play, though. I try to support a lot of indie creators as much as I can. I still play big games from time to time, but I really do enjoy supporting the indie creator community. Looks good, don't you think? Most of the clothes we brought from home got ruined for several years, and our Gamblesons need a lot of repairs. You know what? Madison has. Let's bring her any spiders that we find. If you ever find some threads, sell them to her. Timo? How about Timo? She's close to an adulthood. She seems strong. I wonder if she can fight. She is a washwoman now, hoping to marry soon. Thank you for saving me some time. Journal. Humans. AKA KIOS. AKA KIOS. We get coins, food, surprise. Don't expect them to give any good prices for first. It's good to hear. It's better for the heart and legs and soul also. Pyros. Pyrohos. Pyrohos. Hey. Won't take you with us, Jordan. If we can kill a goblin, good, but we have a team. Our own words, knowledge of our strong and weak sides, but we don't need you around. Just give us 2 or 3 days after you pay us and we'll take care of it. Well, what's my inventory? I'll wait for now. Just a moment, she runs in front of you, cutting your way. Want to help us out? I spoke with our boss and I'm kind of need a writer. Revives the concept of old text-based games like the creepypasta Pale Luna. I haven't thought about that in many years. That is definitely like hitting my brain with some old stuff. We could use another pair of hands here. Someone who knows their way around the woods. So you start to explain that you'd rather stick to the saddle, but she waves it off. Help me find a better soul. There are 2 people I've heard who would join us. Erastos from Howardell and Cassie from Gel Rocks. She rubs the side of her board and then pushes it away gently as if she's asking a child to play by itself for a few minutes. The thing is, we already have hunters who used to live in these places, and they told me they're too eager to welcome them here. I'd like you to speak with them both. Ask the folks from their tribes about them. Before I make a decision of whom I should invite, I need to be sure they can handle the job. That's it for me. Coin stuff. How about 5? I'll give you more if you amaze me with news you bring. Who's this Erastos? Trapper. A few months ago, he told a passing by caravan he wanted to leave his home, asking to bring him his message. One of his past neighbors told us to remember Erastos is a weak, quiet boy, and sure he knows how to fight, but he'd rather use traps anyway. I mentioned to Asterion that she likes to come here. She's a guard, but I've heard more of a talker than a fighter. Gale Rocks is so far away, I really prefer not to travel there. She's a better choice, I may have no option. And the one with the fancy braided beard clears his throat. Ask as many people as you can. Small villages, you never know who can sleep with whom. Journal. Quests. me go talk to my one friend real quick. See if I can tell them anything. Okay, hasn't changed much since your last visit. She'll just clean their equipment. Nope. Okay, nothing to do here. Nothing to do here. That's okay. Maybe I will tell him to do the goblin thing. Because my inventory should be more now. I have 15. I think that'll be okay. Cheers, Jordan. Give us 2 days to prepare for the raid. We'll handle it with a small team. There's a different kind of confidence in her voice, and her stance is more like a leader's. Better stay away from the ruins until then, or I may get a random qual between your ears. About the hunters you want me to recruit. I'll tell you if I learn anything. Alright, cool. Well, I hired them to, I guess, that settlement. That'll be good, I think. Alright. We're going to save there for today. Appreciate you guys being here. We just hired a party to go take out the goblin camp. Don't have a lot of gold left, but that's okay. Hopefully it'll turn out well for us by having to do that, but thank you guys for being here. Simple concept, a lot of things to do. Yeah, a lot of resource management, and I have to go, if you look at the map, there's new places to find, there's always people to talk to, there's different jobs to do, so it tells you what's there and everything. So there's places to sleep, places to trade, tailors and everything, so there's definitely lots of things to keep yourself busy, and I have a lot of the map to still look at, so yeah, looking forward to returning to this sometime in the near future. But thank you for being here, guys. Thank you, Caesar, for being here, and Ludlow and Wolfgang and Stone. Appreciate you, Jester. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you for stopping by and talking with me as the first night of the awesome and curated games by my wonderful wife from Christmas. And very thank you to Drohan Star Bear for the follow. You are Midwest Gaming fan member number 336. So hopefully we can hit 500 in the new year. That's my goal, to hit the 500 mark in 2026. But until then, we will see you guys soon. We're going to raid out, and hope you guys take care. Have a good night, Caesar. I will talk to you again soon, and I wish you well. Thank you for messaging me on Twitter with that game, and I hope look into that soon. Thank you, my friend. Let's see who we got. Let's get Gavatron some love.